Rewind that, please.
I'm normal. The government said I'm normal.
What's up, guys? Me, Alex, Felix. We're gonna be watching some Varg, Vickerness, some Thulian
I never noticed
videos.
it. Thulian Perspective. That's what we're gonna say.
Perspective. If you guys, Axe, thanks for the 30 months. If you're not familiar with Varg, Star Wars Dave, thanks for the 7 months. Black money musician, came up in the second wave of Norwegian black metal. He famously murdered Euronymous, the frontman of Mayhem, who his record store kind of sprung the second wave of Norwegian black metal. He did 23 years in prison, and then he came out and moved to France and became kind of a racist crank on YouTube. And then his YouTube videos got taken down and been re-uploaded.
Yeah, so the Euronymous Murder, people have tried to hold Varg accountable for this on Twitter. Varg will say he stabbed Euronymous several times in self-defense, and also that he's not sorry because the world is better off without Euronymous, which, you know, who knows?
Who's to say?
If you're gonna murder someone, you might as well say that.
Yeah, you know,
because no one's gonna buy it if you say you're sorry.
Yeah, no, you have to go that or the OJ way, really. Just denial or like, actually, I was helping everyone. Yeah. Also, his mom tried to like get a Norwegian biker gang to break him out of prison.
I did not know that one.
Did not succeed. And
Norwegian Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah. I don't know. There's probably a bunch of other stuff I'm missing. I'm not a black metal scholar.
Sneezes, thanks for the 27. Shit, we got a scam train going too. Can you speak to his Twitter a bit? Because I think you're more familiar with that than I am.
All right. I am a big fan of Varg's Twitter. He goes under the handle Gandalf the White, Thulian Perspective. And his Twitter is, it's not what you'd expect, right? Like if someone described Varg to you, you'd be like, oh, his feed's just going to be all like, you know, alt-right stuff and like gripers, and you know, he'll have like a very harsh affect. But Varg he really is his own guy. So the best way I can describe Varg's worldview is he thinks Lord of the Rings is real and it's more racist than Lord of the Rings, and he's Gandalf in it. That's the best way I can describe it. He hates Christians. He hates civilization. He he's not going to say we have to defend Western civilization.
He loves posting. He loves replying to women about how cats are dangerous to the environment.
Yeah. So that's very important. So if you see those like trad e-girl influencer ladies who are like, you know, I want to return to tradition. You know, Muslims are keeping me from living in a field. Like, Varg will reply to them, and he'll go, no one wore that bracelet until the 1700s. Please, please do some basic research. Like, this trad girl had a cat, and he said, please do some reading about how cats are harmful to a local environment. And like, then he puts a very non-standard smiley at the end. It's like a winking, like face, but with like a nose on it. Like, it's very weird.
Excited Blur, thanks for the tier 1 sub.
A lot of the birds cats kill are non-native.
Yeah. Varg, this is another thing I love about Varg. Everyone's seen those tweets that get like 300,000 retweets that are like, you know, the vibe, the energy when you get to your friend's basement or some shit, right? Varg replies to all of those. And he replies to all those talking about exactly what he wants to talk about. Like, if he can find something in there that's related to, like, you know, why civilization is bad, or like, you know, why women need to find the Thulian lifestyle or something, he'll do it. And oftentimes these people reply to him not knowing what his deal is. And I saw this woman like reply to him. It was a post about Christianity, and he was like, you know, fuck Christians, get rid of churches, all this shit. And she said, I will pray in my heart for you to be forgiven for your deeds. And he said, what do I have to be forgiven for? He's a true original. He's a true original
man.
Yes.
He's one of our special guys. Don DeMello, thanks for the 17 months. If you're wondering why I'm playing Synthwave and it's going to continue throughout these videos, is because this won't get DMCA'd, but he has music that gets his own music that gets picked up by the YouTube copyright system, so I want to drown it out. Also, it's kind of funny, so I guess it's just a warning too. A lot of these videos, he's quite racist. So
really?
I tried to screen a lot of them, but if there's some words that pop up, I'm sorry in advance.
Dear fellow adventurers, how many vile orcs am I going to piss off today? Let's find out. Today I'm going to talk about a certain Indo-European group living in North America. I'm not only going to talk about them, but yeah, I'm going to talk about African Americans.
Funk, I agree.
Some of you are going to argue that, hey,
I like most bands from that era better than Burzum, but Burzum still had some bangers.
Sort of agree with you because, according to some pretty credible hypotheses, the Germanic language is made up of 40% non-European words. So it's not, you know, it's just 60% Indo-European, really. I'm going to talk about something.
So I'm not sure what he's arguing. He's arguing that
health expert
sub-Saharan Africans are Indo-European.
Talked about in one of his
Sea Lion Meyer, thanks for the
I
first
thought he
two
was going to
minutes.
say because
he has a lot of really good ideas.
there's so much mixing.
One of the leading experts on.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
he has these videos where he says like,
And he talks about how Africans are different from Europeans.
maybe it's even this video. Set up Blur, thanks for that
And
gifted sub.
Europeans, we're not the same. And it's not just King Kong.
He talks about races being different, but he also talks about Africans being
And,
perfectly adapted to
We
live in like
different places
sub-Saharan
in the
Africa
world,
or whatever.
and we have adapted to our environments.
Yeah,
Africans.
his worldview is like more
You
incoherent
can't
than
anyway claim that
most
Africans
other
are inferior
far-right
or
people.
something like that, because they are perfectly adapted to Africa.
Yeah.
We are not.
In some of those
Stefan
countries, you could
ridiculing
adapt by
Africans because
evolving
they
armor.
have a different way
He's-
of procreation and a different
He's
way of
very
having relationships.
he's very pro
And of course,
ethno
this is,
state.
Yeah, no, that's what he wants.
Very
But he wants
pro-ethno
it. He
state.
wants
Really,
it like a hunter-gatherer
valid
ethno
critique
state.
of Africans
Yeah, which doesn't even make
Whoops,
sense because
fuck.
it's not a state.
for your family.
Yeah,
Mainly going to attract
He just wants like a pre-modern clan group.
and European women,
Which
who
can't
think like
exist.
African women.
yeah. Varg
If you
brags
are a
about
European
being
man,
a
you
hunter-gatherer,
should instead, in order to
which
become
is
attractive to
incredible.
European women, show your ability
It's like
to get calories.
you can hunt and you can gather,
And this is of course
but
where
you're still
fast
a
and
sedentary
because if
agriculture.
you have a big, expensive,
Those people
fast car,
gather and hunt.
you can go really fast,
They've always done all of it.
real quick,
And he's doing
and
all of it.
gather calories. Your, you know, the radius of your territory. Where you
Bear
can
in mind,
gather
this video is about how to
calories for your
attract the
family
right type of women.
becomes huge.
He's getting there. He's getting
You
there.
become attractive to women
There.
by
See?
driving that cool car, right?
Because it's easier to get calories.
And,
Thank you, Bitesberry.
Not all women are the same. If you believe
Yo, White Iverson with 5 gifted.
if you
Thank
believe
you.
that this civilization is going to continue, and you are a woman, you're probably going to think that the guy with a Porsche or some other really fast car that depends on roads to be able to get anywhere is cool. If you are more like a
Thumbnail on ooh and ah
optimist
and ooh
and think that
ooh.
this cesspool civilization is going to fall, you're probably going to think that the guy with the off-road vehicle is more attractive. Because he doesn't need those roads to be in prime condition in order to gather calories from afar.
Okay.
By your
I-
choice
so-
of car
Have you seen Varg's car?
What are you talking about? Why would you?
to women,
No,
See
I
me,
haven't.
and
like-
become attractive to different
He
groups
drives
People are
like
gonna
a
be
very.
hunting in a
like the
truck.
car you have.
He drives a very boxy sedan, and he has alluded to the fact. He says that leftist women turn their heads at him. Yeah.
They are all giving
I'm
you
sure they
the-
do.
because they found that type
Dude.
of attractive.
Oh, there we go. Let's
Oh.
fucking go.
Sustainable, so to speak.
Ghetto Van Adventures.
What is that?
Space for a huge family and still
You're not.
calories.
It's old and
None of
still
that
lasts,
stuff
right?
applies if you're
It's
in a
gonna last
car.
forever. It's probably gonna outlast this civilization.
Jesus Christ.
Agriculture is like losing the
And of
game.
course, clothes have.
When
the
someone
same
tells you
effect.
about it, there's
Send
nothing
out
you can
signal.
do.
And by the
You
way
know
you
it,
dress, by the type
There's
of
no
car
going
you
back.
drive and so forth, you become attracted.
Thank you, Meat Zach, with the fresh prime sub. See, I told you.
Someone's got to cancel this guy.
Yeah. We need to get his show off Netflix.
I'm writing
I don't
his
know why
boss.
Obama is producing this show.
Yeah, this is one of the things produced by the Obamas.
Yeah, Obama on his list of top 10 shows this year.
How healthy European men look like.
The only time a European
That's
Yeah, Obama-
best picture.
It is. That's the healthiest European man. That's
Like-
Mr. Universe for
Yeah.
all of the EU.
Peak performance, etc., etc.
The category was a white man. It was that broad, and that's the guy that he chose.
I'm sure she's devastated that she can't live in a car with Varg.
My God.
TT Gamer acts like months.
You're fucking joking.
Oh man.
Such a fucking dumbass.
A woman who believes in progress and civilization.
That's
Oh,
civilization.
man.
That's the Renaissance. That's civilization.
And all that.
Yeah, and she'd be able to live.
But if you want
That's not hunter-gatherers. Hunter-gatherers, they have runes.
Yeah, they write on a cave wall, not on canvas.
Columbus
You
Theater,
don't
thanks
get
for
to
the
use
31.
pictures.
Holy.
You need to express this to us in runes on a stick.
Of course, there are many other factors in this. You don't get a mate based only on the type of car you have. But this is one of the things that you should consider in life. African
bro.
women tend to sleep with many different men too, unlike European women, because
What are you talking about?
Just backed up by nothing.
have many protectors. And
I
in
think
Africa,
European women do that
in
too.
Europe,
Yeah.
calories
They do.
matters.
I can tell you Canadian men. What?
The second most in shape man in Europe.
The coolest guy in the whole country. Here are some of his books. The Guide Do Stretching. Okay.
What does this have to do with anything?
Nothing. Nothing. These are the most like.
Just shout out to my bro.
These are just.
I'll
the
keep
most-
that in mind if I want to learn stretches from a racist.
Yeah, I want to live in a car. What stretching books do I have to read? I want to be a hunter-gatherer who lives in a
I saw a
car.
comment the other day where someone was accusing
I wanna
the
hunt
Russians of
rabbits
being a
with
bunch
my
of
car.
drugs, and he used this to sort of like prove that they are, no.
Yeah, I had
good.
a Burzum t-shirt in middle school at
But
Creed
is
Office.
this correct? Let's find out. Alcoholism
Is he rich?
is
No.
a huge problem in Russia. People drink themselves to death. I think the average life expectancy for
Only
a
Russia?
Russian man is around 54 or something. And of course, in Finland as well, we see the same problem. People are drinking themselves to death. Alcohol-related death is, I think it's the most common or the second most common cause of death in Finland. So, and like I said, some people are.
What are
using
with his
this to
hats,
prove
by the
that
way?
these people
He
are
has
inferior.
A lot of hats for a guy who seems to live in a car.
I don't
Like,
think this is a
He has
correct
5
Is that a
kids.
nightcap?
Yes.
thing to say. It's not correct. And I want to show you, Norwegians, right? They are about as Nordic as you can get, along with the Swedes and Danes, of course. We're really the same. And we don't have the same problem today. But if you go some 100 years
Good
back in
Lord.
time,
I don't know what he's talking.
He's talking about
Alcoholism.
The
I tried to
alcoholism
find
and the distinction
something
between
online
Finns and
about this
Russians
because,
and Swedes
I
and
didn't remember
Danes.
exactly which period this was that I'm going to talk about, but I think, and I didn't find anything. I guess they don't really want us to talk about it. But I think it was in the 15th or 16th or maybe even the 17th century.
That's a broad.
Yeah, 300 years, Varg.
Period. Norway was suffering from so much alcoholism that the economy was about to collapse completely.
Really?
Because people were
So this is something that they don't want to tell you.
Yeah, this is hidden history.
So it's probably just not true. Because I don't know how they would even measure.
Aren't they, you know,
Like they didn't.
at the tomb of the Aryan race? They are, you know.
No one had doctors. They didn't have medical records.
But
Even like
they
cause
were
of death, if it was your
even
liver, they wouldn't
more
know.
drunk than the Russians.
They would just say you
They were
died,
even more drunk than the Finns.
unless you were like in the royal family.
The fact is that in this period, like I said, I don't remember exactly when it was, the church in Norway, they forced people into church.
Such a strange video.
Church, they told everybody again and again and again that alcohol was good. And it was
Okay, this is about Christianity.
Okay, I don't know if that's what they say.
I mean, he's probably making this up, or like another, like
the
really
faded family church.
Which means the water.
He's 47, huh?
And this is what
Wanting to go back to pre-Christian Norway is so embarrassing because they did it so late,
right? Alcohol.
He placed his own
that was
like
also the
copyright.
point
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, he
Yes,
this album that this is all from is called Thulian Mysteries.
Yeah.
They were
so mysterious.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And in the end, like I said, there were so many alcoholics. There were so many problems because of the water of life. But the Christians.
Like, there's lots to be proud about in Scandinavia.
The economy almost completely
right now.
Yeah, but
it's a very
I
good
mean,
place to live.
Not in like the Viking age.
No way.
Well, Varg is an original, you know.
What is that? A homeless guy?
That's Devin.
Yeah.
That's Tom's mask guy.
In Finland and Russia pushing alcohol like that. They're not pushing it like the water of life and universal medicine. For
Yeah, he does suck. Shish Kaput.
illness. Every bad thing in the world can be cured with the water of life.
So all the
I love how
Instead
he,
of that, they have
his
a-
music he makes now is just like Oblivion loading
I
screen
reached out to
music.
Takashi, you know, it helped me out
Yeah.
a lot. He just
Corey
said,
Goldstein, thanks for the
"Fuck all
15.
haters, man.
It's
You
really
win, you
shitty.
win."
It's all like
Yeah, it's terrible.
Middle
it's like
of
he's
water.
playing the keyboard with one
And,
finger,
They have
like
a
an old person
commercial
typing.
interest in pushing alcohol.
The music in the
it's the
background's
same
me
thing.
because he has his
Love
own
to see
copyrighted
the
music in the
reason
background, so I'm
why
trying to drown it out.
population drinks.
So the Church of Norway, until about 100 years ago,
necessarily
they
the
told everybody
population
that
itself,
you
and
can
it
cure
shows
any
the
ailment by
sign of
drinking a
their
lot.
inferiority. Norway got rid of their alcohol problem, and
Then we got rid
I'm
of it.
pretty sure the Russians will too. And I'm pretty sure the Finns.
I like the annotations he puts in the video.
Norwegians, they were not inferior.
Thank you, Mergens Rainbows.
That's not why they
7.
started drinking.
Hanky Harris, a bit 2.
They were not superior because they stopped. This was just a matter of circumstance. The Russians
A matter of
are not
circumstance.
inferior because they are drinking. The Finns
They're not
are
inferior or
because they drink.
superior. It's just a matter
I'm
of
sure they, too,
circumstance. That's
will find a
interesting.
solution.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
man.
Varg is anti-racist.
Couple of things.
Sluta kolla på porr. Cessez de regarder de la pornographie.
Speak English.
Se på porn. Stop.
Go back to your own country.
Stop watching porn.
Is that him as a kid?
Yes.
Yeah.
That rocks. He's having an idea.
Stop
having a brilliant
watching
idea.
porn.
Varg talking about his youth is always very interesting because he said when people my age were going to parties and smoking and drinking, I would take a Walkman
Murdering?
and take long walks. Yeah. and I did not participate in the fall of man.
The fall of man. That's such a funny way to think about partying, high school partying. Like some lame party where they're drinking Smirnoff Ice.
Yeah, they were listening to like ABBA and drinking like warm white wine, and he's like, "This is the end. This is the apocalypse. This is the end of civilization. I can't be a part of this. I need
also,
to." Like,
how does that not jive with the Norse paganism? I thought they were all about feasts and celebrations and mead.
You're only allowed to enjoy the boring parts.
I think he's Alex. No. I think he probably finds the Vikings, like he follows a lot of Viking mythology, but I think like just for the fact that they had towns would be upsetting to him. Like I think that's too much for him.
He's longing for something that never existed.
Yeah. He wants to be like a Neolithic man. Like
he's more like the Unabomber.
Yeah.
Than anyone else.
He's like more extreme than the Unabomber. Like what he wants, it isn't possible. Like if you're watching Varg's videos, he's not doing it either. Like he lives in a car. You have to live outside. It is amazing that he found a woman that was like, "Hey, can you give birth to 7 kids and live in a car with me?" And she was like, "Yeah,
absolutely. Let's go to France."
There's somebody for anyone, you know?
So in this one,
they provide those for you in Norway.
He's reading out of his racist RPG book that he wrote. And the video is broadly about prostitution in Europe.
Merry Yuletide.
Thank you.
I will read a little bit from this to you. About prostitution in ancient Europe. Modern propaganda often tells us that prostitution is the oldest profession in the world.
You could build a primitive house that's bigger than a car if you want.
I don't know.
I don't think he knows how to.
Around.
This is not.
I think he just drives around all day and like tells his wife he's looking for berries.
Exists in some form in ancient Greece
and
Albert. In the Roman Empire, in classical antiquity. But elsewhere in Europe, prostitution didn't exist at all until after the Christianization.
How do you know?
This is exactly what Mark said about sex work, by the way.
Too honorable to engage.
I thought it was the oldest profession. They just don't have evidence of it before the Romans brought writing because there was no writing.
Yeah, we need to go back to that. He wants to go back to that.
And they also tend not to keep records.
Jesus Christ. Is this why he hates Italians?
But they're barbarians. What is being a degenerate, even? Like, if you're a wild barbarian, can't you do anything you want?
Yeah.
Degenerate
down in the woods? Why can't you whack off?
Degenerate applies to like people who live in a civilization. Like decadence is what comes after civilization's ascendance.
Why?
It's like that cycle doesn't exist.
Yeah, there's nothing to generate from.
Yeah, why would a barbarian get married?
Yeah.
That didn't exist either.
That's post-civilization.
He's just totally incoherent.
He doesn't know what he wants at all. He just wants to be... He wants to be the cool Rambo guy in the woods.
Yeah.
Like all these guys. They want to be the lone guy in the woods, but not actually by themselves because they have thousands of years of cumulative human technology.
He has 2 cars.
Like, they get to use all that technology, but they get to be by themselves, so they get to be, like, king of the castle.
I think he has a little homestead as well as his two vans. This one's good. This one takes it a little bit lighter. He's doing a character here.
Now taken all the pagan beauty from thy temple and removed it. I have taken all those old pagan songs.
It'll be easier to hear you if you took the bucket off.
I have turned your temple into the most boring building.
Does he shit in a bucket? Is that canon?
Hallelujah! Dear Jesus Christ, we have now taken all that sorcery stuff all these pagan traditions and
Barbarian
throw
camo.
them out the window into the pits of hell where they belong, and we are left with a
One thing the Romans brought was indoor
pure
plumbing,
Judaism called Protestantism.
or close to it.
Thank you, Lord. Hallelujah. Burn them.
Aaron,
You
he's
can
doing.
tell here, he's got brown shit on his hands.
Yes, they are in
Aaron, he's doing what Jarian does when he makes a straw man to argue with.
But Jarian, I want to live in a city.
You see there's a house behind him there. So I assume that's his.
Remove this pagan wisdom and ensure that Europe remains a weak and petty and feeble and dying continent. Hallelujah.
All
What
right.
is Europe before civilization?
This is Alex. I think is going to
They
like
didn't have
this
that
one.
concept.
Catholics are pagans. Let's go.
All right, let's go. Let's go. I've been saying this is his like everyone else online who gets into politics online. Varg is making a video addressed to the Brunigs. He also hates the Brunigs.
To the Catholic countries, they seem to be more Christian than, for example, the Protestant countries. Why? Let's find out.
Let's do it. Yes,
I wonder
sir.
if you
When
could
the Christians
get
arrived
Movie
in
Bob to
Europe
repeat all this.
and
To
Christianity
believe this.
became the
His
state
Protestants took
religion
all the
of
fun
Roman
parts
Empire.
out, which is good because it's a step to
The
atheism.
Europeans kept practicing.
The
their
less fun
own
it is, the less
traditions
people
instead.
believe in.
And they did this for hundreds of years. Long after the collapse of the Roman Empire, long after Christianity had spread out, and what the Christians did was to incorporate a lot of these European traditions into their religion in order
Like
not
Christmas.
to make their own religion
Yeah.
completely irrelevant. So what we see is that almost
defeated
all the
themselves
high
with their own
festivals of
logic.
Christianity are actually pagan festivals. Almost all the values
Everyone
and
knows-
ideals even are pagan European in origin.
I don't know about the
So you could,
ideals. There's a pretty
in a
clean
sense,
break
say that, for
between
example, Catholicism
paganism,
is 90%
Christianity,
paganism and 10% Judaism.
with certain
I
ethics.
say Judaism because early Christianity was just another type of Judaism. It was a purely Jewish sect.
His little interstitials are
And then you take a look at the Reformation. What happened during
Jarring.
the Reformation?
Yeah, they really take you out of it. I wish I could
Was to,
be Varg's director.
Take Catholicism, and then they tried to remove
Lars von Trier.
all these European aspects. They tried to remove the European.
I like how all of these guys, he's still like, even though he's just a farmer living in his like
Content.
own in like the countryside of France, is still
And the result was
relegated to his
Protestantism.
van to record a rant.
Yeah, that means
And
okay. So if he has a homestead, that means
what
the wife
this
is like,
led to
no, you like
was a
can't talk about orcs in our house.
de-Christianized Protestant world in a sense, because almost no
Yes,
one
this
in
is us, we'll be
Protestant
back.
countries today are Christians. Hardly anybody care one bit about Christianity, and this is linked to what I just talked about, because what the Catholic countries have is a Christianity with a lot of European contacts. So
They
in
have
the
more
Catholic
candles.
countries, people are more,
More
Christian.
dancing.
They feel
Wine.
closer to Catholicism.
It's more
Oh,
fun.
how
so
the
it
wine
brings the
thing.
community in more.
It is something that is their own because of all the pagan European contacts. But in Protestant countries, you don't have the same feeling. When you go to a Protestant mass,
That stuff still exists. It was just relegated to other
have
sectors of society.
nothing European there at all. It's just some alien Middle Eastern bullshit cult.
Huh?
So there you have it.
I gotta say, this
Catholic
music is
countries
chilling me out.
Are more Christian because their Christianity is more
Thulian vibe right now.
than the
Let's go.
Christianity of the
Yeah, I feel like I'm on
Protestant
Thule.
countries. Because Protestantism is basically Catholicism sans the European content.
Channel 85, thanks for the 25 months.
If you are a Catholic, and I guess also to some degree an Orthodox Christian, what you should do is to strip your religion of all the Jewish content. And what you will have,
Finally.
what you will be left with
is
the European religion.
That Christianity is just Judaism plus
alien
paganism.
nonsense
And you
that
just
is
have to take the
completely
Judaism out.
alien
And then you have a
our
perfectly
nature, our
good
spirit,
paganism.
our
And that
mentality,
Protestantism
our blood.
is equivalent to
Then you will be
Judaism.
left with
I've been saying.
a religion that is very similar to the religion you have now, only without the bullshit. So you should do, instead of having a reformation and turn Catholicism into a Protestant religion completely sans any.
So he hates
content,
Protestantism more
you
because
should
they
do
remove the
exact
pomp and
opposite,
circumstance
you
away
should
from it. So
remove
he
all
only
the
wants
Jewish
that bit.
content and be left with a
So he's
purely
saying
European
Catholics should get rid of Jesus
Yes.
and the whole
religion. And you
thing,
can do that. You just have to
and keep
make an effort.
what
Weed out
Christmas?
Mardi Gras.
should not
Boondock Saints.
or that is not in harmony with our European
I'm not sure what's left.
nature, our European mentality.
He doesn't know either.
Signs with candles on them.
Mm-hmm.
What does pagan by blood mean?
I say this because
Everyone is.
all intelligent Catholics and Orthodox people as well, Europeans, who are also honest with themselves, know that their religion has some alien elements that are not in harmony with their nature. And you should do something about it.
There is a contradiction there.
But don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
That it's
So
all
you
about
only
a
have to get
distant
rid of
place.
About 10% of it. And the rest is your own. The religion of your forebears. With the Yule celebration, with Easter, with the summer solstices, and all the saints that are in reality.
But he can't complete
the
a thought at
forebears
all.
Of our forebears.
It's
No,
very
yeah,
hard to
he-
Our
follow.
forebears.
He's very.
And our
I think
deities
Varg,
and idols.
you could diagnose him with
Pagan
ADD.
idols.
Can
Bye-bye.
like posit a contradiction, and then he doesn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, he posits a contradiction and then he's like, just says something totally incorrect about like European history.
Playing my Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. This is sort of like,
What?
you know, urine-colored blonde. And
What are you
I'm not gonna
talking
show
about,
you
man?
the golden one down there.
Why are you telling me your armpit
But,
hair is the color of
it's,
the sea?
Yeah, he's like, he knows every like modern YouTube meme. He lives in civilization. You live in civilization, Varg.
Yeah.
He's online all day.
Yeah. He loves the computer.
As all intelligent human beings know, feminism has destroyed most Western women and turned traditional women into useless consumers.
Strong
And-
start.
As could be expected.
As everyone knows.
The
They're
feminist
not useless if they're consumers.
destruction of women has provoked a reaction called MGTOW, or
Let's fucking
Men-
go.
Oh yeah, he's
Going
against
away.
MGTOWs.
Yeah.
So, what do I think about this? Let's call it anti-feminism. Let's find out. If you have something bad, doing the opposite of what is
It's so
bad
weird to see him talking
not
like
always good.
outlaw.
Yeah.
throughout,
He
the
shares some
ages,
DNA with Outlaw, I
only
think.
the best men have been able to reproduce. The alpha males. Some places it was so
It's not real.
extreme that for every
It's not even real in wool.
one man able to reproduce,
The
47
whole thing
or
of
so
alpha and beta.
women were able to reproduce. So it was, simply put, 47 times as difficult for a man to procreate.
What are these stats
as it
that
was
he's
for a
reeling
woman
off?
to do the same. You could say that
They're from Data for
natural selection
Progress.
has been removed, but that's not true. Natural selection is still here, but it's working in a different way. And MGTOWs are, as I see it, those who have given up. They are the losers, the beta male losers who were unable to find
that's
a
right.
good wife.
Varg is snatching
And
the
who
fuck
have-
boys.
Who has simply just given up.
He's
looking
gone
for
woke.
So some of them become monks, others
Varg is a Jezebel
go
contributor.
to prostitutes. or
Living in France off of
enjoy
social
themselves on
benefits
their
from the
own.
French state.
Yeah, of
Which are
course.
unending, like
Of course.
in America.
Yeah,
I have to say,
yeah, just
I
just
think
like
that's
grant?
Excellent.
it
That's
should
what
be.
beta males
Yeah,
should
he's
do,
just like
because
a
beta
fucking
males are
hunter-gatherer.
worthless in biological context. Only the alpha males should be allowed to reproduce. So
I've never even seen
I
him
think
do
MGTOW is a
hunter-gatherer
great thing
stuff.
that will attract
Does he have
a lot
videos
of
of
beta
that?
males.
No.
It seems like he just
in
talks.
effect,
He just talks into his phone
remove them from
and tweets.
mankind, so to speak. They are not able to reproduce anymore, and mankind will be better off without them. And this is, as nature intended. The
Well, he's
losers,
vegan as well, right?
That's a good point,
There you go.
actually. I
Winners.
appreciate that.
they remain.
No, he's
and they
against
find
like a carnivore
traditional
diet, but
women
also against
and
veganism.
have big families, and their
The
Yeah,
offspring
MGTOW
will
guys
be
are
efficient.
taking themselves out of the gene pool. And
Their
it's
genes
good.
survive,
That's supposed to
and
happen.
mankind will be better off. So, MGTOW, great thing to weed out and get rid of losers. If you think that finding a
Woking.
traditional wife today is
Yo,
He's right.
Varga's perfect skin at age
It's supposed
47.
to
Stay
be.
unproblematic and
if it
drink
was
water.
easy, then all these beta male MGTOW losers would have been able to find one already, and mankind would have been reduced in quality. The beta
Kinda looks
females
like
are
Fidel if you
feminists,
squint.
and they remove themselves from this natural selection, which is great because we don't want that filth in our future, really, those genes in the future. And likewise, the MGTOW beta male losers also have removed themselves from this natural selection, and which again, it's great. We don't want their genes polluting our humanity. And also, if you fear that many good women are being tricked by the feminist bullshit propaganda, that many good men are tricked by the MGTOW bullshit propaganda, I think you're wrong. If they're good, they won't fall
He's
for this
doing
bullshit.
fishhook theory.
And if they're not good,
Yeah.
well, then it's only
Well,
good
it's like
if
how
they
he
fall for
thinks
this
that
bullshit, because it effectively
Syrians are whiter
hinders them.
than Italians.
Yeah.
MGTOW,
So you shouldn't be
feminism,
anti-refugee.
Excellent.
How do you
Helps
reason
us
that?
get rid of the beta male and beta female
It
is a good point.
from the gene pool.
Just pictures he
future?
found.
Belongs to the alpha males and alpha female, which is great. This
So
is
it's
what nature
probably an
intended.
Italian guy with a fake tan
Yeah.
Keep up the good work.
Well,
guys.
versus a Syrian
Remain
guy.
losers.
Yeah. He saw a picture of like one blonde Syrian and was like, they're actually whiter.
Bodybuilding.
Let's
I can
go.
think of a few characters.
There is that contradiction again,
be
though,
Interested in that topic.
that people from Germany can't say,
What do I think though?
we don't want people from
That's fine.
Tunisia coming into our
Bodybuilding
civil.
is,
Because for most of recorded European history,
in theory, something
North
good. You are
Africa and the Middle East were civil,
improving your body, becoming
Yeah.
stronger.
and the Nordic
or,
countries weren't.
accustomed to wear and tear and so forth. But think about it, really. If you have
And then you
the
start
time
thinking about it, like, wait a minute,
to
why
lift
was
weights,
Norway
not
so
much.
behind developmentally? It
wouldn't
wasn't
you
because
think
we're
that
inferior, it
there's
must have been
something
because
else
of
missing in your
material
life?
condition.
Doesn't it mean that you
It gets you thinking.
are doing
Yeah,
something
that's what
wrong?
Varg does. He gets me thinking.
If you have, for example, a family, like adult European men should have, you wouldn't have time for that. So
That's
in
not true.
itself,
There's 24 hours in a day, Varg.
already there, I think bodybuilding is a bit... It's not that good. You are cultivating your own body at the expense of life. You are
cultivating yourself. You're focusing on your own self. It's extremely egocentric. And as I see it, that in itself is not good. Then we go to the next.
No ego.
He's calling you out.
I know. He's going in.
Yeah.
His music really stinks.
Because when you weigh,
you just don't have you don't have enough of a Thulian perspective to enjoy it. You're one of the least Thulian people I know.
And the food we eat today is produced using oil. It's transported often from the other side of the world.
Food today uses oil.
Environmentally friendly.
Unlike any other time in history.
Is that in
I think he means fossil fuels,
which is of course not something we have to.
I don't think he knows what he means.
I don't know.
And as you know, Europeans, we are able to think ahead. Or we should be anyway. And if you are that
we should
beefy, you need a lot of food, and when food becomes scarce,
I believe Thulian is a.
won't be able to uphold that.
Did he create the word?
Body.
No.
No, that's it's like a
is a
legendary
continent
continent like Atlantis.
Okay.
The Nazis were kind of into that shit. The occult.
Very little muscles.
Esotericism.
I was doing some Googling earlier. It was like a return to like nature and paganism or something.
That must be said. And then you have a fourth point. If you are a bodybuilder, you tend to have very little body fat. And that is not good.
Oh, here we go again with the six-pack shit.
And a lot of good stuff that we need during winter here in
So
Europe,
this apocalypse is going to happen in our life.
In your fat.
Yes.
And this is the reason why.
And there isn't going to be enough boils in the whole world that everyone's going to have to go out
is
hunting.
not European. They want to look basically like Africans. They don't want to
But
have
also the wilderness will be preserved after like a nuclear winter?
To look like Africans.
Varg could have debated Rich Fiana on this topic. I think Rich would destroy him.
When it comes to
There's actually a video where a guy
training for
cut
women,
in Rich Piana saying stuff in between
if you
this
go to
rant.
top athletes, about 70
That sounds good.
of them don't even have their period because they are living extremely unnatural lives. The female body is not supposed to do that.
Virility.
Also in relation to body fat, women need
Zizek
more
debating
fat
Varg,
than
that
men.
would have been good.
And they have more body fat than men.
I think Jordan Peterson could probably beat Varg in a debate, to be honest.
A certain percentage,
Yeah.
which, interestingly,
Like Varg,
is way
his
above
inability to connect
recommended
thoughts is really hurting
by
him.
many of these bodybuilder,
Yeah, and like
vegan bodybuilder
Peterson's a
and,
professor, right? That's kind of his whole
YouTube
gig.
channels and such.
Yeah.
If they go below that percentage, they start to have serious.
Is he still a professor?
Problems.
Well, formerly a professor.
He stepped out of the cryogenic thing.
He stepped out of his...
Like
He's
Fry in Futurama.
Yeah. Peterson lives in a Matrix goo pod filled with like liquid Ativan.
Dude. Read the shit.
Yeah, let's go, dude.
Booby builder.
Booby builder.
Booby builder.
Rhombozoid ass.
Which
Booby
of course
games.
is because that's not natural. They're not supposed
Booby
to
builder.
be that
Booby
skinny.
builder. Come on,
And
Varg.
note that the
I'm a
diverse
$100 a month
extremely
subscriber.
fit women
Get the,
due to their bodies,
unfuck up the
relation to
spelling, Varg.
fertility
Well,
and
English is
childbirth
his second language.
is their
That's true. That's true.
He's learning and growing.
Is permanent. They do permanent.
He's an
damage
immigrant.
if they
That is true.
try.
Immigrants, they get the job done.
Permanent
Hamilton.
bodies. Also, in relation to a shit hits the fan scenario or a civil war and so forth, being a bodybuilder, you know, it's good if you're in a bar and somebody is bad mouthing you and you can just
It doesn't
knock him
fucking
down
matter.
like that, or two average
Yeah,
guys,
Like one day,
and you can just throw them.
Bodybuilding, the thing you do when you want to win fights. Not anything else.
I know a lot.
Not like grappling or anything, it's bodybuilding.
Fight or two, sure you can, but the
and he's
chance
talking
that the
about
big guys
running
will
after
win
deer
is
or
overwhelming
something.
in a
Like he thinks the apocalypse is going to happen soon, and it's going to be very sudden.
Yeah.
So everyone that's alive today in their current physical condition, how much muscle they currently have, they're going to have to go wrestle a deer to survive.
Yeah, and if you're a bodybuilder,
6 months.
If you're a bodybuilder, good fucking luck. Good luck, Aaron.
Yeah, you got too much muscle.
Yeah, you're
Good thing I'm too fat.
And there's no stored food.
And in our day and age, there are a lot of firearms. And the bigger you are, the easier you are to hit with firearms. And modern firearms do a lot of damage. An M4 bullet, a 556
true,
NATO bullet,
the muscle is
will
not
just
a vital organ.
hit you and make you stop bleeding. It will completely crush your tissue and bones and everything. So yeah, being hit in itself is a disaster.
Yeah, wouldn't the existence of guns just like render all of that obsolete?
So you really shouldn't want to be.
Yeah, so there are
an easy
guns.
target. And also, if you
Yeah, but when
Matt, this is exactly like How to Survive Zombie Apocalypse.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
He's like a 12-year-old.
Sorry.
First, you have to find a crew,
With some sort of
people with various skills.
a
You gotta get a
baseball bat
machete and
in
make
the
sure
back.
it's sharp.
But certainly,
Very
a
bad.
spare or an
You're gonna
axe
be
or
cutting
something,
down some zombies.
you really don't have that much of an advantage anyway. Or rather, all the time and energy you spent on becoming that strong is not worth it, because maybe you have a little bit of an advantage still, but that's not worth it at all. If you spent that time raising a family,
Varg is,
that would have been
You can lift weights and raise a family. What do you? And going to the firing.
practicality of
Varg trying to connect two thoughts is like
European man should be
a perilous path. It is like trying to drive a Yugo up a mountain.
and they should be able to.
He's having a rough time.
He's arguing with an imaginary person who believes
All of
that
these things must be done,
being a pro bodybuilder,
in an economic
one of the
sense.
Mr.
If you
America
have
or
to
whatever
spend
guys
hours
is
every
good
single
for
day
survival.
to build muscles.
Yeah, no.
Apocalypse.
Is it worth
He
It'll be
makes
good to be
up-
dehydrated.
If you
He makes up the
have to
most
spend so
insane
much
straw men
resources
and then like
on
barely
resources
defeats them in an
on
argument.
this.
Like he's like, oh, I bet you think that rapping will be
I think
useful when
others
civilization
disagree with me,
falls.
that's fine.
Here's why it won't. Here's why you have to learn how to
but
play the flute.
As I see it, the best thing
You could have spent that
fix
time rapping, raising a
get up
family.
early,
He's just the most insane straw men I've ever
major,
heard.
Didn't he
This guy
start
like
having
Courtney.
kids when he was like
a
47?
good start.
Yes.
Get up a bit earlier and run. If
Well,
you
he's,
are
he's set behind by his
terrible
21-year
condition,
prison sentence.
Be satisfied with running that.
He's giving everyone advice, and he spent the first half of his life,
And if
or
you
the first
do it
3
every day,
quarters, honestly,
you will become
committing crimes
much more.
and
Yeah,
not
but he-
getting married.
But he did anti-bias training.
Okay, so now he's doing like
lot
slash
less wear and
fit,
tear on your knees and
like
feet,
memes.
so forth. I run every day. I run about 3 kilometers, 3.3, and I have no.
See, cardio's racist.
What do you mean you don't have the
In
time
fact,
for it?
It's 6 days a week, but still, and that's very effective.
He's doing bro
in terms
science.
of keeping me.
Yeah, this is such bro science.
That's when men were men.
Yeah.
Those guys could beat up anybody today.
They're easier to shoot with a gun, though.
One of those guys could win a
Fucking
fight with
big
Floyd
popping
Mayweather.
belts.
Easy.
Stay fit is to force yourself to train once or twice every day. Whenever you have a spare moment, you can.
You just said you don't do it
push-ups and do some
because you don't
pull-ups.
have time,
Um,
even though you do.
I do when I take my kids.
So
to
why are you
playground.
telling me to
We
do
have
it?
these,
Because you're not making racist RPGs. You have time.
I gotta make
Well, no,
one.
he's saying when he takes
Yeah.
the kids to the
pull-ups
park, he
there,
does
or
pull-ups while they're
I
playing.
did that the day before. I take
That's
push-ups.
awesome.
So
He's following Scooby's.
So he's playing on the monkey bar.
Oh my!
routine.
He is. That is
training
completely
there.
accurate. He's a
And you can
Scooby
do it
adherent.
anytime. Do it when you have the time. So, and I think you should.
He's
do
going
that.
to the
That's a
playground
good
and
thing.
playing on the monkey
Push-ups,
bars,
pull-ups,
and that's
and
the grounds he has to give advice on fitness.
all sorts of different exercises that you can do using your own body as the
Scooby would disavow Varg of his racist beliefs. I
doing
think.
fucking skateboard squats.
Yeah.
Well, he's saying it right
like-
here. He's recommending
If you
watching
have
calisthenic YouTube
Instead of going
videos.
to the gym for the
I know there's information online about a
firing
very general
and
subject.
Practice your shooting. That's the first thing you should do. The second thing, if you still have more time, you should.
Does he have
train
videos
some
of him
sort
doing any of that stuff?
And HEMA is as good as any other because in HEMA you use.
I don't know.
weapons, and they will be in life-threatening situations. You will be faced with that type of combat, not hand-to-hand combat. If you rely on hand-to-hand combat, you will be finished off like that by people.
How do you
who
know? I guess he did kill someone.
Yeah, he did kill a guy. You gotta
Shoot you.
give
But
him
I think
credit
he
there.
just.
put an axe to
Stabbed
your
him a
head.
bunch.
If you have
Yeah,
no children
I don't
to go
think
to the
he was
playground
armed.
with, or if you have no garden. or
No, they
anything,
fought with
you
spears.
can.
Oh,
find
that's
one of
cool.
These rods that you put.
No, yeah, he just stabbed a guy.
Attach it properly, or else you will end up in fail army videos. And you can do pull-ups in your own house.
The Thulian fail
everybody has a
army.
floor, so everybody can do push-up
You're a
and
hunter-gatherer and you know about
dips
fail
and so forth.
army.
You can do that pretty easily.
You're in your car watching fail army on your phone and you think you're a primitive
Everybody
man.
can do.
He really loves this picture.
I love those guys.
You know, he's doing the Cali muscle prison workouts, filling up stuff with water.
And I ate tuna fish directly from the cans to get proteins. Alright, he was in prison in Norway, so
Oh yeah, it's like staying in a hotel.
that's like a Marriott.
If you are European and you have the time to go to the gym every day, you're doing something wrong because you shouldn't have the time for that. There are so many other things that are more important. You should be watching Survivor Russia.
That's a
every day,
take.
of course.
You should be
And,
watching survival
you should,
videos on YouTube.
Plant trees and work to ensure that you have. and
Sorry, no
berry
time to work
bushes,
out. I'm planting trees
vegetables,
again today.
vegetables.
On the second, thanks for the 21.
Is he in Norway?
items growing
No, he's in France now.
nearby.
Yeah,
If you have
he's
a private
a
property,
Frenchman.
You can always do it on public property, but because in most countries that is not illegal.
Trees plant themselves.
At the end, I can say that
Sorry, dude, can't work
If you
out. I
should
need to
have
play
a scenario
My
where
Frog.
people in the city
I love
are
My
so,
Frog. It's the best racist D&D campaign.
distressed
See my
with
video about
situations that they
diseases
will
and
try to
dying.
leave for the countryside. The vast majority of them will
I don't know why that phrase really kills me.
to do
Bye
so.
bye.
I think the first thing you need to have ready, and in terms of survival tools, is of course your brain
Your
needs
phone.
to be clear.
Mhm.
No drugs, no alcohol, nothing like
Thulians love being on their phone.
And then, secondly, the rest of your body. You need to be fit, to be able to.
We should play My
run,
Frog.
Yeah,
to
let's
climb,
do it.
To carry stuff, to sleep.
In 2013,
outside, to,
Vikernes and his wife released a film called
tolerate
Four
cold
Bears
and
based
so
on
forth. So,
bear worship during the time of the Neanderthals, which is, according to him, connected with autism.
thanks for watching.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, that sounds dope.
What?
Greetings. Today,
Varg,
taking you for a little trip to the
autism.
forest.
Why don't
Why?
autistic people worship
Let's
bears?
find out.
Well, Varg is like pro-autism, which again is
But
very
first of all,
weird for a primitive man
We have to get
to even
this
believe in the concept of
Volkswagen
autism.
started.
It's connected to ancient train
do so.
worship in the
I
Neolithic.
need to push it. And jump.
Maybe it's time for a new truck.
I'm
No,
going to
he
the
said
forest
this.
to see if I can
Alex,
spot
you missed when he
wild
said
animals.
the truck will outlast civilization.
And, ideally, I should have worn clothes made from fur from a non-predatory animal, because that would have helped hide my human scent and thereby increased my chance to spot a wild animal. Another thing I do to
You're in
increase
your
my
car.
chance of spotting wild animals.
You're in your
is
car and
to
you're
leave
wearing a
my
hoodie.
kids at
So
home,
he's
because
looking
bringing
for
a
animals
bunch
out of his
noisy
car window.
It's the easiest way to hunt.
It's not gonna help me. The third thing I've done to increase my chance to
They can
spot
hear
some
you
wild
coming.
animals is to mimic something bears do, namely to cover my human scent with turpentine.
Bears get turpentine by rubbing their bodies onto trees. I'm not going to do that. I just took some turpentine and I put it on my clothes.
I don't know if you need to use turpentine.
And what this does is to cover
Oh, you got
my
arrested in
human
France
scent
for having some hunting
and
guns,
make
so
me
no, he's not allowed to have
smell
them.
like a tree. So wild animals will not catch the smell of human.
So what's he doing? How's he?
I'm part of the
I'm
part of the TRA, Julian Rifle Association.
But I ditch the car. I'm going to walk.
It'd be funny if he was
going
just
to
like
try to
shooting a
walk as
cow on some
stealthily as
farmer's
I
land
can.
in France.
Sudden movements.
Getting a headshot on a horse with a crossbow.
I'm going to see if I
My
can spot
man.
some animals.
Thulian
As
style.
many of you probably know, another thing wild animals do to cover their scent is to
Shit.
roll around in the manure
Come on, baby.
from predatory animals. I am not going to do that.
Aww.
Because if I use stealth, I increase
It's the one he killed.
my chance to encounter.
See, there you go.
They left this part out of Bambi.
Also,
A large pony is a horse.
Jesus Christ, man.
tracking skills.
So he's comparing cats to African
Cross
immigrants.
signs from animals like this.
African immigrants kill songbirds.
But then I also increase. my
Everyone
chance
knows that.
To see something.
They swipe them out of the air
An animal.
all day long. It's horrible.
Or
Yeah, he does think literally in terms of an RPG. Like he's rolling for stealth as
I can
he's.
clearly see the footprints. The animal.
This is also not the
probably
time
has
of day
been
to do
doing
this.
the digging.
It's like 4 p.m.
And here
and he's on the side of
I
the
have
road.
come across the remains.
This plays out like one of
Seems
those
to be
Will
a
Keith
hawk.
videos where he's like walking through the woods, picking up trash.
It's like an amateur horror.
We have the claws. The claws
pretty cool.
of the hawk, probably,
Yeah, that's cool.
and or a
There's still some meat on there.
and
Yeah.
what this means.
You know my house goes crazy on
There are
wing night.
foxes around. I'm pretty sure. Either that, or the hawk has just died and some cats ate it. There's a big hole in the ground. My
The
guess
cats
is that
definitely
this is
didn't kill it.
the home of a fox.
Cats don't kill
the,
hawks.
Remains of the eaten bird was found like 30 feet away.
We found a
so
cat's nest.
I assume that this is something made by a fox. Here we have some large animal tracks. I can't tell from which animal because they are old.
I'm starting to think this is going to be an unsuccessful hunt.
Droppings.
What makes you say that? Yeah, no, he appears to know nothing about hunting at all.
Tracks are made.
It's like Michael
From
Scott trying to do
Can't
this.
tell though because they are old and it
That's some sort of track from an
was
animal.
10-minute walk in the forest. This time I didn't spot anything. Normally, every other time I drive through this forest, I see roe deer. So I was unlucky today. There were none there today. But I made some points and I showed you some things that will help you if you want to spot animals, if you want to hunt.
God, imagine you live out there and Varg's your fucking neighbor.
That would be great. He's like Wilson from Home Improvement. He just pops up over your fence to tell you completely wrong shit about history.
Dude, I say he was walking around pretending he was an RPG, and he said these factors, stealth, tracking, party size, the use of fur from non-predatory animals, and the use of turpentine to cover the human scent are all included in My Frog.
Love My Frog.
He doesn't have any barrier between real life and the game.
I intentionally made Mifarog
He's got statistics
to
spinning
be
around in his head.
sort of like a hunting simulator. The encounter tables in Mifarog reflect the realities. You don't just encounter, monsters.
What do you
Most
mean
of
the
time,
reality?
You will just encounter game, a small game, medium game, or large game. Just like in real life.
In real life, there's 3 kinds of animals, and they're sorted by size. I just shot the biggest medium. You got to see it.
You see that news story about that low-level child that came in contact with a higher-level pit bull?
Interesting. And hopefully also
Yeah, you don't want to venture
Thanks
outside
for
the
watching.
starting zone.
Bye-bye.
Of the yard.
We're supposed to be intelligent human beings. But, are we? Let's find out. As all intelligent human beings should
He face-tuned this
understand by
one.
now, the way we live here in the West is not sustainable.
Yeah, he filled this on a pre-civilization phone.
And the solution to this is, of course, to live in societies that are autonomous. We need to get all our food.
Oh, dual
from the
power.
local
Let's
area.
go, dude.
Why?
We need to get everything else
Why not?
from the local area, because we can't fly in stuff from the other side of the world because it's cheaper.
We've
to
been
produce it
importing
there.
and exporting food
That's not
for a long time.
how we can do
Works
it.
so far.
It's not sustainable. And in that context, I wish to talk a little bit about vegans, because they live, most of them, in the city, and they are giving us all sorts of scientific research from this or that doctor, claiming that it's good for us. And frankly, I don't care what any of these doctors say. I don't trust them. They have all the reasons to lie, and they're probably lying, all of them. And you can find evidence for this as much as you can for that. It's just...
I don't know if scientists are saying
depends on
veganism
what
is
type
good
of
for you.
doctor you go to. And,
I mean, certain
they all
ones
have
Maybe
probably
some of them
are.
are.
but-
You don't really
Some
hear that.
Maybe he watched
playlists.
Game Changers on
Like I
Netflix.
said, I don't trust them.
Saw their
He's been
bad
watching
fit
vegan
science.
games.
Because even if it was true, you know, what the vegans say, that's not a sustainable lifestyle. As you know, here in Europe, half the year,
You do need the B12,
how are you going to get your
but thankfully
vegetables
we know how to
and
make it.
food from the local area in December, in January, and February? Can't be done. What they do
I like how
today,
the audio completely stops during his slideshow parts.
walking around in the cities, having no contact with reality whatsoever.
You use stored grain,
They're flying in vegetables.
or you don't live in places,
Biological vegetables.
or you
Because
just
they're so
you go to the
important.
store.
Their diet is so important.
I
What
think
are we
Barb
talking about here?
probably goes to the store more than he admits.
Thailand, from
What about
Australia,
after the stores don't exist?
to Stockholm,
Okay, that's a good
wherever
point.
They live.
In the
I'm-
future, all the food you eat in a day, you have to find or catch that day.
Fuck the environment, right? Because flying.
So if it's winter, your
is
only choice
pretty
is fish.
Polluting, isn't it? They're burning tons of fuel, of oil, because they want their vegan diet. Well, to put it in the most polite way I can imagine, fuck you, vegans.
If you're worried about
You.
fossil fuel
Nobody
usage,
on this
then
planet
you want
is
to
polluting
reduce
more
animal
than those
production.
who buy vegetables that are flown in from fucking Peru or Kenya or whatever. Nobody. That's the worst you can do to the environment. It's the worst possible you can do.
Veganism is bad for the
Not
environment
veganism.
because
Like
they
I said,
transport the food,
no veggies.
a good
unlike
point.
eating meat.
In December.
Yeah.
is-
I hadn't thought about it that low.
So in order to be a vegan, you have to do that. It's not sustainable. It's destructive.
You don't.
And it's worse than even the worst McDonald's customers.
He's using like a
And when
pro-vegan
you
argument
understand
that they
you have
use
to
against
live
like eating
from
meat
products
to
you
be
can get
against
locally,
veganism.
You also understand that
Again,
sure,
trying to connect two thoughts.
most
Yeah,
Having
it's-
trouble.
It's
fish
very strange.
and meat during winter.
Yeah, it's
And,
like when they say
have some dried fruit and dried nuts.
when they
and so
cut
forth.
fields down, there
But,
are mice that get caught in
Actually, you can't
the thresher.
because it destroys the environment. Modern
So that kills animals
is
too.
completely destroying the environment.
Who cares?
All right.
You first, man.
Making a permaculture in my car.
How How's it going, Outlaws? Today I'm going to be collaborating with my friend Thulian. Thulian Perspective. Go check out his channel. There's a link to it right up there.
Or the muscle
Varg is about
so forth.
He's about as primitive as the two guys who live in their van.
And you can give me all the
it's about the same level
in the world, proving me wrong if you want, but I have eyes, I have friends, I see reality. I don't give
I have friends.
Fuck what some paid doctor.
Permaculture is agriculture.
The vegan diet.
I have friends. There's Tyrone Smithers. He works at my work.
All this
Within that argument, he's disproving it.
I don't care.
Saying that you can have sustainable agriculture where the nutrients are cycled in, so there doesn't need to be additional input. That's agriculture.
Gives you cancer. Well, fuck you. You're on the Titanic. You're gonna go down with the rest of us anyway. And I salute the vegans who think they're doing something right, and if they're doing it because they want to protect animals, that's fine. I understand that. But it's not a sustainable way of life. It doesn't work. It's extremely destructive in many other ways. For you, of course, but also for the environment. When you have to fly in fresh ecological...
Thigh High says the mid-20s women I yell at on Twitter are my friends.
You don't have to fly in food.
So, and even I'm living in the country.
You also don't have to eat fresh vegetables. You can just eat rice from a bag, and that's vegan. I think he thinks vegan means you only eat salad.
Yeah.
We have eaten
no, he does seem to think that.
They only eat avocados flown in from Peru.
And fruit and so forth.
Like he forgot about grains.
And then during the winter, we ate
which is the main food that we have.
Grains are the most airplane transported food.
Reality. That's what you have to relate to. Okay, that was it.
Don't we love it?
T that's nice. Thanks for that gifted sub to Thigh High.
Yeah, I don't want to live there. Humans are not supposed to live there. Talk about sustainable.
Looks pretty cool, though. All right, here we go.
Autism. What is that really?
Let's find out.
Let's find out.
I have a feeling we're really going to get to the bottom of it.
First of all, I'm going to say that there is nothing wrong with autists. Autism is not a diagnosis as such. People with autism just have a different way.
It's a very good way to look at it.
And being different.
It's not a diagnosis.
It's wrong.
It's a lifestyle.
But it is a diagnosis.
Yeah, no, it literally is that.
A lot of people diagnosed with autism.
Okay, we're learning a little more.
Mm-hmm. And the reason for this is that people with autism have are hypersensitive to sensory stimuli. For example, noise.
Yo, Fidel Clanco, thanks for the 5 gifted. Appreciate it, homie.
Thank you.
So they are hypersensitive.
Yeah, I don't think autist is the correct term to use, bro.
There is
it's a funny term
of the type of stimuli that they.
Again, it's like another internet culture thing.
Yeah. Like it is an internet thing.
Loves the computer. No, yeah, he loves computer shit.
My extremely online Boolean perspective.
In a strange manner if they are stressed because they have been exposed to too much stimuli.
Like every video. He like says something you only hear on Twitter. So he's
autism is
today we're having a normal one.
Only find in people with the Neanderthal DNA.
The people who announce the most that they're removed from online or removed from civilization. Those are the people who aren't removed.
In people with the autism is
they wouldn't have to announce it.
You will only find in people with the Neanderthal DNA.
You guys catch that?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's science. It's just science.
I.e. in Europeans mainly, but also Asians, Native Australians, and Native Americans, and in Africans.
That's true.
The reason why
that's correct.
People with autism are.
I'm in the 96th percentile for Neanderthal DNA.
Congratulations.
They are more wild. They are less tamed. They are less.
They have a boost to cold tolerance.
They are more like human beings.
Yeah, so that's basically anybody.
So in a sense,
yeah.
Not having autism should be the real.
Yeah, everyone has Neanderthal DNA.
Because the autistic person is really the normal person.
Except for
Been saying this.
Yeah,
people
thank you,
presented
Bard.
to us
Bushmen,
as if they are
Africa.
mentally retarded or something like that. And of course, some of them
Varg,
are,
that's not the correct
but
term.
It's not because
Please do
of
better.
autism.
Normal people.
They are mentally retarded, but it is not because they are autistic. Autism has nothing to do with that. So autistic people are more wild and less domesticated, and also their intelligence level is higher. Their ability to concentrate on a subject is higher. Their ability to remember things is higher. Autistic people are actually better than normal people in almost all contexts. The only thing they are less good at is social interaction, and that is because human beings are not meant to
Doesn't really make
socialize
sense
with a
that
lot
it's
of
less
strangers
wild.
all the time. We're supposed to
Oh,
live
man.
Because being the
small
actual
tribes,
wild man he's talking about
no
means
larger than
being
150
hyper aware of
individuals.
everything all the time,
and
all of
in
your
such a
surroundings,
tribe,
and being a
being
generalist,
autistic is
and being
not
extremely
possible
flexible.
because you are able to relate to all of them.
To be able to
The
switch
problem
gears at a
arises
moment's
when
notice.
You have to relate to people you have nothing in common with. Complete strangers all the time.
I'm starting to
You
think he
don't
doesn't
know.
really make sense when he
This
says
is
these
an
things.
Yeah, I think he might be out to
state
lunch on a
for
few of these
human beings.
concepts.
We're not supposed to live like that. And we're not supposed to live with flashing lights all over the place and music
the
and
sun?
sounds and cars and all this noise.
We have a big light up there where
So
if you look at
the
it, you go
autistic
blind.
person is the
So don't
more
tell me about
natural
TV.
person. It's the more healthy, sane, normal person. The
Well, the sun is a Thulian
normal
TV.
person,
Whoa.
the person with
This is actually like the
autism
reverse racism
is
argument, but
the
about
sick
autism.
person who is able to function well.
But
in a
also not
sick
what I thought
world.
his thoughts on autism would be.
And that's
No,
one
he's very
important
pro
point.
autism or what he thinks
Not
autism is.
fitting in
Yeah.
in a world that is sick to the core is a sign of good health.
I don't know if
it's a
that's
result of our
true.
Neanderthal DNA, and those who are autistic probably think more like our Neanderthal forebears did, whilst those who are not autistic
How do
think
you
more
know?
like Homo sapiens.
What is that connection?
To sum it up, if you are diagnosed with autism, don't be ashamed of it. Be proud, because in most contexts,
Because
if not all
Neanderthals.
contexts, you're better than others.
Yeah, next time you get bullied, point out that
gone woke.
We
Neanderthals
don't
have-
see more autism.
Point out
now
that you're better
because
than
of
others.
vaccines,
People
because of
like
this,
that.
because of that. We see it more because we live in a society that is more and more overstimulated in terms of sensory stimuli, and therefore the
God, imagine being
individuals with
32 and having
autism
5 children with
are
Varg.
more easily spotted
lucky girl.
and diagnosed. Although I don't like the term diagnosed.
Points
because
out that a
it's-
murderer from Norway said it's good.
suggests that there's something wrong with it. And there isn't.
There's this guy I know who thinks that he's in Lord of the
Thanks for
Rings.
watching.
Yeah, this is this old guy who's a murderer, and he made a video in his car at 3:30 a.m. where he said it's actually good that I have autism because I'm a caveman and I'm uncivilized, and that's why I'm right.
Yeah. Also, Christians are just Jews.
Yeah, Catholics are Hindus.
Soviet-style regimes always try to put a diagnosis on people who think differently. That would be dissidents.
No, his wife's
And,
32. He's 47.
In 1993, when I was
All
in
right, he's
the
canceled.
Soviet
He's
Norwegian
canceled for
government
that age gap.
Yeah.
tried
He's
to do the
22.
same.
I used to stand Varg,
And how
but
did that go? Let's find out. Today,
my name is
I was
Varg for
cleaning
Kens.
up
Thulianism
my
has
shelf,
ruined my life. I'm 28
and
years
I
old.
found, this. That is a risk evaluation of Varg Vikernes by chief psychologist
have it.
Dr.
Vikernes.
Phyllis Kirsten Rasmussen and
Why
specialist
doesn't he ever
in
dress like a
psychiatry,
Viking?
Andreas
Yeah, he
Anders.
only wears like hoodies and shit.
He just dresses like an
I'm
Under
going
Armour.
to read from this in Norwegian because it's written in Norwegian. But before I do that, I'm going to talk a little bit about how the media in Norway is still trying to present me as a, as if I'm insane,
a convicted murderer.
Something wrong with it, something really
crazy how they're smearing him for that
all the time, and they're still doing it. Rather, lately they have ignored me completely.
Christian values.
They have finally realized that
compassion,
pretending that I don't exist,
that's
is
what
the
he
best
means.
they can do for their agenda. But before that, for many years they tried to
Norse pagans were pretty
present me as a complete insane lunatic. So
why would they think that?
Yeah, I can't.
They didn't have great morals back then.
Rasmussen and Hamnes, they quote the report by Karl Evert Hornemann and some other psychiatrist, I don't remember the name of, who talked to me in 1993 or 94.
Jesus
and
Christ.
They quote
Mr. Horny Man.
Conclusion. Nei, sorry, I was supposed to read in Norwegian. Konklusjonen blir derfor at observanten ikke anses som sinnssyk nå. Next point. Konklusjonen blir derfor at observanten ikke antas å ha vært sinnssyk på tiden for de påklagede. Continue a little bit later on. Konklusjonen blir derfor at observanten ikke antas å ha vært bevisstløs eller lidd av forbigående sterk nedsettelse av bevisstheten på tiden for de påklagede handlinger.
Yeah, so he was of clear mind when he murdered Euronymous.
I'm the chief psychologist of Norway. We are hereby declaring that Varg is normal and more caveman than man, and therefore smarter and more autistic than everyone.
I have a doctor's note that says I'm not gay. You have to listen to it.
Men hans anskuelser oppfattes som meget ekstreme. So,
he does not have good abilities to formulate himself into things.
Not insane. And they were really, really disappointed in the media when they realized.
Yeah, the media was rooting against Varg, and he showed them wrong by being declared fit for trial.
Live propaganda.
Silencing the haters by being sentenced to 25 years in prison.
I will find the conclusion of Hamnes and Rasmussen. It's a bit further, but I just read the conclusion because the rest is just endless talk. They quote, they write a little report.
Yep, just a normal stabber, that's right.
Yeah, it's court proceedings.
And so forth.
Yeah, he's... fuck, when did he get out of jail?
They talked
over
to
10 years. Well,
the inspector in the prison.
Kid's 13, right? So
denne har bare positive ting
okay.
å si om Vikanes som innsatt, og betegner ham som en mønsterfange. Yeah, they
Norwegian prisons have a glory hole system.
Great prisoner. Didn't bother them at all. I think. Okay. Okay, here is the conclusion to their investigation performed in 2001. Han har ingen rusproblematikk. Det foreligger ikke
psychopath.
That's what he handed God. Thanks for the prime sub.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, left-wing lunatics. Not insane. Not a psychopath.
Owned. If you're on the left right now, you should feel fucking owned.
I'm normal.
The left can't
Wait, did you hear that?
Yeah,
did you
I'm
hear
normal.
That? Rewind that, please.
I'm normal.
The government said I'm normal.
I'm normal.
Normal.
Guess what?
Now.
Yeah,
you can't say I'm weird anymore. They say it right here. I'm normal.
Guess what, commies? The government said I'm normal at my murder trial.
Why I don't buy your narrative?
Yeah, Fenris rocks X.
I love him.
He's so smug about this. Like, oh, the leftists are crying because at my murder trial they said I wasn't clinically insane.
I was insane.
Insane.
Psychopath.
A psychopath.
Bragging about being declared fit for trial is so awesome.
From Twitter or whatever the hell it's called.
Creeping Jet, thanks for the 7.
Here's a note from the state of Texas. They would be able to execute me, hypothetically.
Right? And I haven't taken a DNA test. And still,
your discretion.
DNA test showing my heritage. How did that come about? Let's find out.
Oh man.
Well, you know, I had a little talk with
He's
my
so
brother
fucking
today,
great.
and
He rocks.
It turns out he took a DNA test, and since both of us have the same parents, I would be not too wrong if I claim that
Thanks for the
his
clip,
test
Rutabaga.
kind of shows what my results have been too. And what do you think my result is? Let's find out.
Probably pretty
My
good.
brother's
100%
result
Jewish.
Was
Yeah. It's a Jewish man.
97%.
It's 100% that bitch. That's right.
I just took a DNA test. I'm
Remaining
100%
3%.
Thulian.
Where are they from? Am I really multicultural or not? Let's find out. But you know, with 97% Scandinavian, I can say
We was fuck kings and shit, dude.
Again, that's from the computer. He loves the computer
remaining
so
3%
much.
Could be
Also, you
explained
weren't
by
really.
that.
Oh yeah, you like
What am I
lived in
talking
a
about?
swamp.
Let's find out.
Yeah,
Well,
it
you
was
see-
shit. You didn't get
One of
castles
my
until like 1800.
Fine ancestors went to England to kick ass of those idiot monks who tried to send missionaries to Scandinavia and who tried to force their Jewish desert cult down our throats.
I don't think that's who
They
started.
encountered
I
civilians.
don't think the Vikings were getting revenge for
naturally.
missionaries annoying
When
them.
the men
That's like
are
entirely
kneeling
Yeah, that
down
doesn't
fantasy.
seem
crucified
that doesn't
you,
seem right at
when
all.
their men are not washing because washing is a sin.
A gene is a pagan goddess, dude.
When their men are basically crawling in a pigsty, trying to apologize for even existing because they're sinful, then you wouldn't be too surprised when the women act in a particular way to those
Bin
handsome
San.
Scandinavian fellows who just show up from nowhere. How did the English women react? Let's find out.
He said,
If you
"Let's
look at a
find out,"
history
and
book,
waved
I
that
will tell
fucking
you that
axe at the
the
camera 5
Pagan
times in the last
Vikings
2.5
took
minutes.
Those innocent women and dragged them off by their hairs to the boats.
If you were there, though, you would know that these handsome Scandinavian men showed up, and the women
Jesus
were
Christ.
basically begging them.
They were not well groomed.
Yeah, they
after
combed
2
their hair,
months on
man.
a boat.
Please, take us along.
They just got off
We
a
don't want to
boat.
live with these Christ cucks. We want to be free. Take us.
Oh,
Yeah, they were saying cucks back then.
Yeah,
1300s or
absolutely.
whatever.
You're talking like 15-year-olds online.
There's a pretty small amount of
we only
intermixture
have
with Vikings
a group
in
on our
Britain.
boat,
Please save us from these simp
so we
monks.
have to pick the most
There's a
Monks
little
aren't
bit on the
decent
coast.
enough.
but-
save you from Christ.
These incel priests.
And we did.
I guess they're volcel.
So we stood there and we said, Eowyn, go take a seat. You're beautiful. And eventually we ended up with a lot of English women in Norway, in Scandinavia by and large. Have you by now already understood what the 3%
That was a jarring cut.
remaining percent
Yeah,
are?
it was wild.
Let's find out.
I'm also not sure if that
Of
makes
course,
sense.
The remaining 3% are English.
It could have been English
So my
men.
brother at least, and probably me too, is 97%
Norwegian women.
Scandinavian and 3% English. Which makes me very monocultural. I'm not multicultural at all. I'm not hip, according to
I disagree.
fashions. And I'm really, really happy
I'm
with
normal.
that for watching.
This is his version of the Shamar Moore video. I'm a Neanderthal. I'm normal. I'm nice.
It's an
If you
interesting.
want to know what you are, just take a look in the mirror. I don't think that's good.
That's very not good advice.
Eowyn, you're beautiful. Go take a seat. Arwen, you too. Galadriel wouldn't leave without
He
you.
is so soy.
And no, I don't feel
Yeah,
any guilt. We saved those women.
Joe Chomsky, thanks for the 10 months.
It's like he's making TikTok.
No, it has the same tone of TikTok videos.
Greetings.
Hello.
A main part of the Norwegian government's propaganda is to tell the Norwegian people that they have the best country in the world. that their
Excuse
lives are
me,
the best
just
in the
because
world,
I'm
and that their economy is one of the
bisexual
best
doesn't
in-
mean
best in the
I'm
world.
not Aryan.
But is this true? Let's find out. Some years ago, I had a Fiat Panda. I purchased the Panda because it had 5 seats and it was really cheap, and I had to wait.
I like how his idea of him being a manly like outdoorsman is him checking the oil in his car.
So meanwhile, I purchased this
Like the
Panda,
most
cost me
base, easy thing you can do.
€500. And for the fun of it, I checked out how much would it cost me to take the Fiat Panda with me. And
Varg was never on
How much
Rogan.
would I have
That'd
to
be an
pay in
interesting
taxes?
episode.
That'd be the best episode in history.
Panda to Norway. It was around 20 or maybe 25,000 euros to import a Fiat Panda to Norway that cost me 500 euros.
Oh yeah, this one's him like ranting about
import a
taxes and why he
500 euro
moved
car
to
and pay
France.
25,000 euro tax for it. It's just ridiculous. But the problem is in Norway, pretty much everything is like that. Everything you buy has been taxed to death. I'll give you an example. In Norway,
that's why it's nice.
I had to pay, I think it was around 25 euros for 1 kilogram of bacon. Here in France, I pay around
So you're going to the
0.79
store.
euro
All the
for
meat you're eating, you're getting from the
200
store.
grams.
That's right.
So,
and you're complaining about the cock.
Yeah, he was
rounded
also
off, you pay
complaining
around
about
6 times as
flying
much for bacon
pineapples to
than they do here in
to
France.
France.
But do Norwegians earn 6 times the money compared to people here in France? No, they don't. So even though you maybe earn 2 times as much in Norway, or even 3 times, you don't. But let's imagine if you did. You still have not the same
Shit was
buying power
insanely
as people
expensive when
living
I was in
France.
Oslo, though.
Of course,
A
the
can of
example
Pepsi
with,
Max from 7-Eleven was $5, and a
bacon
pint
is
of
not
Guinness at this
really
like bar I went
representative in
to
the
was
sense that not everything
$17.
is 6 times as expensive. But everything is more
How
expensive.
much is that in
I
America?
think the only exception is diapers. Diapers are more cheap in Norway than here in France.
That would be
And the government has to
17
subsidize
CAD to USD.
bread because, you
13,
know, ordinary Norwegians,
like 13.50.
they can't afford living. So
That guy
you know,
from Cleveland, thanks for the tier 1 sub.
ensure
15
that they
months.
don't starve, they subsidize a type of bread. Yeah, that's what they do in Norway. They subsidize, and they have to subsidize bread in order for people not to starve. But Norway is the best country in the world, isn't it? It's the most rich, blah, 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 everybody have the best living standard and so forth. Well, that's bullshit. So, if you
I mean, it
if
seems
you
pretty
walk
fucking nice there.
and eat the subsidized bread only, then you can survive in Norway. And, you know, work and pay taxes, be a good slave. Norwegians, they have more buying power if they go abroad. But when they live in Norway, they don't. They probably have less buying power than others because everything is so much more expensive. And also, if you live in Norway, you are
2
taxed
years.
to death.
And it was in
And
the
much more
80s.
so than any other country that I know of. Another thing that
And the rest
you
of the time
have
he's in
Norway that
prison
you
or
don't
in
have
France.
Other places is, for example, you have to pay money to use your bank card. If you withdraw money from an ATM, you have to pay for it. If you buy something in a shop,
The
you
only
have to
frame
pay
of
every
reference
time
he
you
has
use your
is
credit
how much it would cost to sail
And,
this shitty car from France to Norway, so he
Not
can
like
continue
that.
living
Not
in
like
it in a
that
different
elsewhere.
country.
Also, you have these toll stations everywhere. And when I drove from France to Norway to record the albums for Burzum, I had to pay, I think, 3 or 4 times just to get from Sweden and into Oslo. And these toll booths are so normal all over Norway now that
How do you know?
you kind of take them for granted, and the people there are used to it. So
Yeah, I have
they
a
don't
work permit.
seem to
I'm a
react,
hunter-gatherer.
but others do. And it's not like you pay €1 to get past. You have to pay like 12 euros for each of these. And in the end, you pay a lot.
So you had to pay 40
You're
bucks
supposed-
when you were recording your
also
album?
pay taxes, normal taxes.
That's crazy.
To maintain the roads. So they just suck the people dry, and
it's pretty normal.
Yeah.
They've been doing so for a long time. In the end, the Norwegians, they end up with a pretty poor.
To pay
buying
$12
power, and a lot of Norwegians
or 12
are
euros,
really,
which is
really
what?
poor.
About
And,
$12.
another thing
yeah.
the government does is to
get across a toll
for
booth
example,
to a
they
different
want,
country.
Norway
Not
is supposed
bad.
to be a role model for
That's pretty reasonable.
green environmentalism. Blah. So they work to remove old cars. They only want these new modern cars with the best environmental technology in it. Well, sure, but what about young people? How are they going to afford a car if there are no used cars? How are poor people going to afford a car?
There
if
are
no
used cars.
The government
There
removes
are,
these
though.
old cars. They pay people
I love
to
the
throw
idea
them away
of
instead of selling them. to
Varg
others.
talking to border
And
guards.
they also have campaigns
They're like,
where
"What are
they-
you here for?" I'm
they
gonna find
round
some
up
berries.
All the cars in Norway.
Then fail to
and
hunt.
they sell them to Africa, because if you pollute there,
I need to drive
That's
my
not a
car
problem
through
to
the
the
forest looking for berries and deer.
I
believe they do,
good
Patrick.
environmentalism in Norway. Apparently, they don't give a
Like
rat's
there's
ass about the rest of the world.
quite good passenger train
So they
system
sell
there,
these
right?
old shit and polluting cars to Africa so that they can have
Yeah,
this,
I don't think you're really meant to travel
show off model country
by car.
boast to the UN. Look how
Throughout
good
Europe.
we are. Well, fuck you. Another thing they have in Norway is like this.
That was a vlog. Oh god, he's been watching some
They have
David
a few
Dobrik.
companies
He's
that
so
own
rude.
all the grocery stores.
Yeah, you got to
So,
subscribe
for example,
to
Lidl
PewDiePie?
tried to establish themselves in Norway, offering really cheap
Varg has
products
joined
for the
Team
Norwegians.
10.
This food mafia conspired against them, and they forced the transport companies to boycott Lidl. So Lidl had to provide their own transport for everything. And of course, in the end, they had no chance. And the result was that there is no Lidl in Norway. Norwegians don't have the opportunity to buy cheap food from Lidl. They have to buy these... Buy from these food mafia stores, where everything is filthy expensive and of course overpriced.
Food mafia sounds like
You know
a
what
channel
cheap
for
food
when I was
is?
living in
That's
Norway
industrialization.
Yeah, Food Mafia sounds like an Israeli restaurant.
What's it called? A caddy. This roller you bring to the grocery store. I would pay like
should be
Organic
non-consequential
local
to
food
them,
is
right?
expensive.
That would be like at least 400 euros for one. And if I do the same here in France, I would pay like 100 euros.
He just wants to buy food from Walmart.
Even though not all products are like
That's what he's mad
6
about.
times as expensive in Norway. The overall cost is probably around like 4 times as much. And
He's
Norwegians,
really tried to backwards
they don't
rationalize
make
why he's
4
living in
times
France instead of in his
as much as
ancestral
French.
home.
The income
of
in Norway is not 4 times higher. So, all in all, they are better off here in France.
Yeah, you can
Another
live anywhere
funny
in
thing
Europe.
that they do
You
in
could live in a
Norway
cheaper
is to,
place.
register every citizen and not
Yeah,
by
I mean, if
name,
you live in a
but by
car
name.
and like a house made of
Just
logs,
like Auschwitz.
world's your oyster.
They, you can't do anything using your name. You have to give them your number because you're just a number. And when you tell people
That's
living
crazy,
here in
man.
France
That's like
about
Pink
this,
Floyd.
they will shake their
Man,
heads.
that's
They
crazy.
will not even believe you because it's so insane.
An identification
And,
number.
In Norway,
Wow.
it's actually so crazy that every house has a door, and the door has a number, and this number registers everybody.
Yeah,
who lives there.
exactly. Build us an
And again,
entire
by
ideology
numbers.
so he can have cheaper
Just a
food
number.
to buy.
And another thing they
'Cause
do
he's
in Norway
unemployable.
that people here in France think is completely crazy is to have a public register of your income. Everybody can just go online and check how much money you earn.
Why do you
So
even
there's
believe
no
in money?
privacy.
Like-
Nobody are allowed to keep anything private.
This
You
is
can just
Yeah,
go
I thought you were
online,
against
Google any
civilization.
Norwegian and find out.
You can't
exactly
pick and
how much
choose,
money they
Varg.
made last year. Another thing I have noticed here in France.
This is just
is,
like Jerry
the difference
Seinfeld. Like
between
this is
policemen. In Norway, they have.
Let me tell you about another
all
thing.
The top-notch gear.
people in LA and New York are different.
Leather jackets and bulletproof vests and communication gear and radar in their car and the best cars and so forth.
I love having radar in my car.
And of course, they have guns too, but in the car. They just don't carry it on them. And here in France, no policeman have any of that. They don't have leather jackets. They don't have bulletproof
What are
vests.
you
They
talking
barely
about?
They have a
Policemen
gun.
don't
That's
have
100% wrong. That's completely wrong.
They don't even
Police
have
in
radars
Paris,
on their
especially,
cars.
are
And the cars they
extremely
drive are like
armored.
these old
But they don't have leather
cars
jackets,
that,
so
That's
not
true.
even
They don't have
bad
leather
boys.
dusters and
Frenchmen
cowboy
drive
hats.
these old cars, most of them. So it's you kind of get a feeling that Norway is a police state. Soviet
Definitely,
model,
dude.
That is.
The
fun thing I
he
would
lives in
speak
France.
about
That's
is
so
lawyers.
odd.
Because I have
You're
experience
buying
with
house
lawyers
a lot
both
less in
France
Norway. Out here, we have a
and in
bodega
Norway.
where you can get
And in Norway,
toilet paper and
they were
bananas.
walking on like eggshells.
I want Barb
it
to
makes
do
sense.
the AOC bodega tweet.
So they, we can't do that. We can't.
He thinks Norway is
We're
a
not gonna push that.
police
No,
state
careful,
because he was
careful.
in prison. That's all he's thinking of when he
if
thinks
they
of
really did
Norway
that
is being
job.
in prison.
But here in
Everyone's a
France,
prison
it's
guard.
not
Everyone
like
has
that.
to eat this
The lawyers
shitty
are
food.
tough, they're good, and they work for the interests
They only
of
let
their
you play
clients.
PS2
They are not
games.
afraid of their careers.
In Norway, everyone's
They're
cell
not
gets
afraid of
searched.
being fired for doing a too good job. So maybe I just was really lucky with my lawyer here in France because I had the top-notch celebrity lawyers in Norway that were supposed to be the best. And compared to this lawyer that the authorities
Alan
just gave me
Dershowitz.
here in France, those Norwegian lawyers were completely...
Fully in age of consent.
They were not even 10% of the guy that the French government gave
Yeah,
me.
he killed the guy.
If you rank
Like,
the
what,
did
what
kill
does he
the guy.
want
three
from his
countries
Norwegian lawyers?
in the world with
You killed a guy, Bart.
extreme brainwash, you would probably have like
And then
Sweden.
There's a
bragged
Curb
about
Your
it a lot.
Enthusiasm
Yeah.
episode. He got a
Norway, or maybe
Swede lawyer and he
Sweden,
lost
Norway,
his
North
divorce
Korea.
case.
Because it is so extreme, it's so totalitarian that my wife, when we moved to Norway, she didn't even want to
wife.
live there because it was so extreme. And she was used to a socialist France. We had
Socialist
our second son.
Yeah, say what you will about
we
France, but
signed
they didn't
papers, official
convict me
papers.
of murder.
On it, it's
It's a
said
big
it could be
difference between
signed
these two countries.
by the mother, by the co-mother, or
His hands are always so
alternatively
filthy.
by the father.
Zeta, thanks for the 2 months, tier 1.
Co-mother? What's a co-mother? Oh, that's of course, the lesbian girlfriend of the mother. Why is that on that?
Spaghetti and
why is it
meatballs look great.
before
The
father?
lesbian mother is
What the fuck is
beautiful.
wrong with them?
I don't know what he's pointing at on his hand.
And the brainwash in Norway starts with kindergarten, which is, pretty much mandatory. And I pity Norwegians. I pity the Norwegian people for being exposed
He lives
to
on
this.
welfare.
Yeah, I wish
Type
they were
of
as
France.
cool as you.
And
In France, you don't have to go to kindergarten.
this is not gonna
That only
happen.
happens in Norway.
That's not capitalism, dude. Fuck you.
It's TikTok, but he's
Yeah.
58.
Let's find out.
Let's find out.
Cool Windows desktop backgrounds.
I point at the flaws of capitalism. And the response I get is, it's not capitalism.
Welcome to the resistance.
It's corporatism or something else. Okay. But, in the same spirit, why do we criticize the Soviet Union? Because that wasn't communism. Why do we criticize Vietnam? It's not communism.
We don't really
Why do we
criticize Vietnam.
China? It's not communism. Why do we criticize any of these communist countries when their system is not communism? You know what the leftists say?
It's not true communism, dude. Fuck you.
And they're correct. And those who said
It's not capitalism, dude. Fuck you.
they're also correct.
You have to do a lot of editing for that.
My point is,
It doesn't land. It's not a funny bit.
communism.
Yeah, but he loves doing this voice.
Red revolution.
They
If you're
want,
gonna pitch up your voice, you can do funny stuff.
they want communism.
You should put some
They're
vibrato on.
on paper good system. I don't think it is, but they claim it is. But they want their on paper good system, right?
but it always turns into a dictatorship, a vile, rotten, filthy, gulag-infested hellhole, right? And it's no different
like Vietnam
with capitalism, because they start out with capitalism, and it always ends up with corporatism. I think the definition of idiot would be you try something and it fails. And
no one really started out with capital.
Because this time it's gonna work.
And therefore we still have communists, right?
The next time we're gonna do it right.
Never gonna happen. It's gonna turn into a vile dictatorship. Capitalism, same thing.
Like in Vietnam.
Next time it's gonna work. If only we had good, true capitalism, it would all be fine.
Except it won't. It will always turn into a corporate hellhole. Like the USA. Always. And
damn, Varg's spitting.
Being anti-capitalist doesn't mean that you're a communist.
Okay, he's more left-wing than Nancy Pelosi.
Doesn't make
Varg is the primary Nancy Pelosi. There's no rule that says the Speaker of the House can't be a Norwegian convicted murderer who lives in a car.
It's not capitalism.
In France.
There's literally no rule against all of that.
He's the senator from France. I don't have a fucking choice. He's gonna post that webcomic.
Pick centrist Varg.
Paganism did fail.
Varg was the compromise. Fuck around and find out.
Unless you look at like Hinduism.
How has paganism survived any better than communism?
Yeah, it's like literally doesn't exist.
Yeah,
like
no, it's shit people made up.
It's polyamorous people on Facebook. Like,
yeah, you can find
mostly the same people.
You can find remnants of the pagan golden age on OkCupid.
I saw some Richard Spencer type of character.
Oh, call out incoming.
Claimed that
anti-fascism.
They are the creme de la creme of Europe. That they were the pioneers, the inventors, the smart people, the brave people who left Europe for the New World.
Oh, yeah. I guess there's paganism in India, right?
I'm going to...
Yeah, anything that has more than one god is pagan.
Yeah.
In Norway, if you were a drunk, we would take you from the street and put you in jail and just keep you there. And what Norway did was to take their drunks, instead of putting them in jail, sent them to the USA, gave them a ticket to the America boat. What we also did...
Is that true?
We fed them.
100%.
So-called poor people houses.
Some of them.
Where those who didn't have anything could go to get some food. What did we do? We took them. Instead of giving them food, gave them a little ticket to the America boat. To get rid of them. We also
so it's kind of like the Australian argument, but about America, right?
Lunatic asylums. And we took the people there.
Yeah.
Not the people working, but the people who were in the
There were indentured servants sent to America for crimes, but
it
was a very small percentage of the population.
Bye-bye.
It's interesting, Annika.
It was mostly middle-class
people. In Norway,
people.
We even had some municipalities where the mayor went around with this hat, collecting money. There, citizen, can you give me some money? Because, you know, Olsen over here, the criminal piece of shit, we want to get rid of him. But we can't afford a ticket to the America boat. Yeah, they took up collect to pay for the ticket to get rid of our criminal scum.
Oh, he's going in on America.
He like talks like an Oblivion NPC.
In America. But that's the fact. We emptied our lunatic asylums. We emptied our poorhouses.
Yeah, I can't wait till the dialogue options pop up.
We took our criminals.
Doubt.
Bye-bye. Sent them to
the
Saw it
USA,
off, you
the land
dimwit.
of opportunities. And therefore,
Be gone.
also, this is confirmed in a sense by American records, where they describe the Norwegian immigrants as a bunch of lazy drunks. Well, I guess you know why. They were lazy drunks. I cannot confirm that this is the case for all European countries, but
You can't confirm anything.
Sure, this is the case. You could say that the economy of the USA disproves my point, or disproves what I say, because the US economy is strong, and much stronger than any other economies in Europe. But you have to take into consideration that a European city was built probably starting in the Stone Age. And it was
You're against
built
cities.
layers upon layers with new technology.
You're against. I
adding-
don't know.
being
He's
added
comparing
all
the
time,
economies
and
of
in the end,
Europe and America.
I saw a posting about the
We
gold
will
standard the other day, and it's like,
cities
why do you give a
from
shit
the
about
air
that?
looks
Like, shouldn't you
You
just
don't
be
believe in
trading?
money.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a good point in chat too. Like,
these cities are not very efficient.
if he was alive
modern
back
standards.
then, he would have been shipped to
But in
America
USA,
for being
they
a
were
criminal.
able to take everything we
Yeah, and they would have called him a lazy drunk.
learn
Yeah.
and
Because he
start
is a
from
criminal.
scratch.
He's the dregs of
So their
society.
cities could be built, adapted to.
But
the
he doesn't see
technology
himself
they
that
had.
way.
They could be built in a much.
It's a common reactionary thing, but it's like especially funny with him because he is a convicted murderer.
Yeah, like
Yeah, it's like the My Pillow guy, who did the most crack of any human
And of course,
for 3
this
decades.
was a tremendous advantage.
But now he's
when it
cool.
comes to modern economy.
Oh, we got 750 organic
Another
for
reason
Bard.
the people love
Maybe
it.
you guys shouldn't have
USA has
collaborated
very
with the Nazis.
well-cultivated
We
culture
should do Varg
of
night
greed.
every night.
The mind is
Man,
I
that would
wish
be that would be exhausting.
Yeah, it would be exhausting. Like just the labor of finding what videos aren't TOS.
Yeah, ones that don't have the N-word in it with an H at the end for some reason.
for our
Why does he put the H in there? He's such a fucking dumbass.
French style.
Yeah, he's trying to be woke.
Yeah.
I cannot use the merchant
God.
image. I love the happy
Europe
merchant. It's cute.
has its share of
That's my uncle.
drunks and madmen.
I want to give him a coin. He's
poor
nice.
people and
He does like. There's nothing malicious about the happy merchant. Like I mean, he
type
like I don't
Merchants are
mean
great.
that-
Someone's got to buy stuff.
criminal
the image is racist, but I mean like the guy himself. Like
is
he's my friend. I like him.
compared to
What I
that.
do want to do sometime
Merchants
soon
were
is
the
watch-
good guys back then. Back in the early modern era, it was either that or the
So-
aristocrat.
Richard Spencer type of characters. And there you go. There you have it. You're not the creme de la creme of Europe.
This is anti-fascism, y'all.
Jesus Christ. Well, I guess I know why the alt-right hates him now.
He's snatching their wig.
He doesn't
owning
make
them.
friends.
No, like I don't know who Varg's ally is. Like it's just other assholes who play like racist D&D, which is a very like props to Varg. He's like not trying to become an e-celebrity. He's speaking to a very small.
He's living his truth, man.
Get there.
Yeah.
We're going to take this.
He could have done an L. Ron Hubbard thing, but he didn't have it in him.
No, he has to believe that he's Gandalf.
This is rather old technology, so
If guys like this are charismatic enough, they can start cults or religions based on their own weird inner cosmology.
same person like me do.
But he's just filming his exhaust pipe.
This video has him practicing his karate moves at the end of it.
This fine
Oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
biological engineering also needs to warm up. It's getting
No, what I
tired.
do want to do soon, again with Felix, is watch a bunch of Morrissey interviews.
That sounds great.
There are a lot of good ones. Does he do this in pajama pants?
Always with the
Tactical
camo. What are you blending in with? Half the time it's snow.
The old car and the old man are now warm.
France is nice.
Yeah, it does look like a nice place to live.
I would love to live there, preferably as one of Varg's kids.
If they had fiber internet, I'd be down.
Whilst you
They probably have it. Everywhere has better internet than America and Canada.
I got fiber installed on Tuesday, baby.
Well, that
I got it
was
today.
55. So.
No, yeah, I could literally be Varg's son. Like,
he's gonna die, and they're not gonna have any memories of him.
What are you talking about? They have all these videos to go back to.
That's true. They have the videos and the music.
The car is perfectly blended in there, right?
Yeah, the deer aren't gonna see it.
I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to have a baby in the front seat like that as well, but
why not?
Splitting hairs.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to drive on this road, I don't think. This you're definitely not supposed to drive on. This is not the road, brother. This is a bike path.
Varg is just like destroying endangered species.
Yeah, he likes the native environment, but he's driving his car through the woods all the time.
This is what the Vikings did. They drove their big shitty...
They put their boats in the woods.
Yeah.
They went to the gas station. They picked up some scratchers. Yeah, he's using the baby as bait.
I'm baiting.
This is what I wanted to show you.
Like, he doesn't even try to do any sound mixing. Like, no, I'm just gonna have my loud ass fucking car going over me talking.
Where they grew crops. This area from here was potatoes.
Yes.
And the potatoes were all completely ruined this year because it was too moist. So all the potato plants died and they didn't get any yield whatsoever. If they
I'm
had
so
like
sorry.
potatoes,
Is there anything I can do?
Is he talking about the neighbor's
I
farm?
would not have experienced the same. And I know that because about one click from here, we grow potatoes. And we just plant the potatoes amongst other plants. And
You're not supposed to do that.
big surprise, we have...
That's a new world plant that only came here after global exploration. And it's also agriculture, and you said you were a hunter-gatherer. It's not native to Norway, and it's agriculture.
All the other plants. As you can see, they have plowed the field real good. And what we are left with here is fine dirt.
So that's not his field, right?
This is something they do every autumn.
No, he's peering over the bushes into the neighbor's property and making judgments based on nothing about what they should have done instead.
He doesn't know anything about farming at all.
I mean, I guess that explains why
he's ideologically against it.
The video is titled Varg vs. Local Peasant.
He's so awful.
Same thing on the other side over there and there.
That's a lord, not a peasant.
Because they plow the field like
this. No shit.
Tons of soil is washed away. Fertile soil, that is. If something starts to grow here, it's because this field desperately needs those types of plants. The plants are healing the soil. But in modern agriculture, apparently they don't want that, so they remove everything and turn it into a desert every spring and every autumn. The purpose of fungi
usually they do that. They use cover crop.
The nutrients
and they cycle crops too.
Second,
like
it keeps moisture.
I didn't grow up farming, but I grew up like on a farm, right? Like the house we rented was a part of the farm. And every year it's cycle, right? And like once every 4 or 5 years, they just don't plant shit to let the soil heal. But like one year it'd be barley, the next canola, the next wheat. Like it's cyclical.
The soil and into the sea.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, but how good at you were? Were you like any good at gathering, like at all?
It's so much.
I mean, I found like frogs and stuff in the backyard.
Alright, that's pretty good.
Although the ancient agriculture was also destructive.
Did you read any racist RPGs?
The destructiveness of agriculture
it's not into RPGs.
Dramatically in modern times.
Yeah, exactly.
Today, it is basically a race towards our own starvation. Of course,
destroying what?
Use pesticides to get rid of everything they don't want here, and of course they.
He just has no actual concept of anything.
They want everything for themselves. They don't want to share anything with anything in nature, which of course is an ideology summed up in the term.
Well, what's all that stuff in the background?
In order to have anything at all,
Like how you just hear
nature.
his kid crying in there.
Pesticides.
Like
nature's right there.
Load of pesticides.
Like what the fuck are you talking about, Dad?
And
how do you know they're using pesticides?
They use lime.
I'll
every
fill
year.
this one for you. Felix
which,
has
of
not
course,
played
is very good for
Cyberpunk
the
yet.
peasants and
I'm not going to.
How does he have such a knowledge of what they do?
Ruins the soil.
Well, he's unemployed, right? So
Yeah, he's probably just like
guess so.
he's probably like sitting in the yard like making racist RPGs, and he's like, "Why is your potato crop so bad this year?"
He's watching out the window or something.
Because of pesticides.
Like everything. Somehow he knows that the guy's applying
we had
lime.
almost no insects.
He sees some shit spitting out of a
When I was out
tractor
driving,
and he knows
I
what
was
it
not
is.
hit, or rather the front, the windshield of my car was not hit by one single insect throughout the entire summer. Now, when the peasants are no longer using pesticides because it's autumn.
yeah, Alex has a
and we
degree
have
in
small,
what is it?
short,
Horticulture?
warm week, I'm
Yeah.
experiencing
You can lead a horticulture, but you can't make him stream.
all the time.
Ecological
That's my system
agriculture.
making some noise.
Useless.
Cool thing to know.
Oh, dude, you can do this.
Yeah, you can fact check Varg.
They kill
I would love to have
so
some
many
vines.
insects
Some vineyard
I think
vines.
it's Alex, as someone who has like a totally useless degree, like an actually useless one, international studies. I wish I had studied something like that. That's like, I don't know, that's cool to know, in my opinion.
It is technically STEM.
Suffering
Yeah.
greatly because of modern agriculture. And the result is, of course, that we lose a heap load of plants, animals, and...
God, this one just fucking goes
If we
on.
continue...
There's at least 2 more
Yeah,
I want to watch.
at least film your face.
This is a rant.
He's filming dirt for
And I'm
20
going to
minutes.
talk about equipment and equipment costs in role-playing games.
I can't see that, sir.
I got this game. It's called White Box. It's a beautiful book. I love the format. I love the feel of the game. But listen to this. If I'm going to buy myself a crowbar in this game, I have to pay 5 gold pieces. If I'm going to buy myself a helmet, I have to pay 10 gold pieces.
That's a really good question.
If I'm going to buy myself a 10-foot
Who the fuck is he
pole,
playing this with?
to poke dead bodies.
Yeah, is it his kids or his wife?
How
old are his kids?
That would
He can't
be
that
funny.
old 'cause he
That would
just
be
got out of
funny
prison.
if he was playing with like a group of like normal D&D players, like IT guys.
Yeah, they're
He's
all
playing
wearing
with like
Deadpool t-shirts.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, Var, can you stop
10
talking about all the stuff you talk about?
Varg, we're not playing your game.
Now,
Varg,
I
we
don't
don't
really
want to play
understand
my
why
frog.
people who make these games don't do a little bit of research.
Yeah, they need to
Try
be
to
as
find
smart
out
as you.
How much one gold
All the stuff
piece
you know.
is actually worth?
How many
in real life.
gold pieces to get a crowbar in real life?
You can't buy a halberd in real life. Like, that's not... There's no realism. Oh my god, man.
He's so
It's
fucking
fantasy. Who cares?
Like, this is from a guy who
supposed to be a
calls-
hunter-gatherer,
It's a
and
role-playing
he's like
game. I can make up anything I want.
haggling over the price of
And,
garlic in
my
a
world, gold
board
pieces
game.
aren't that much worth, you know. So you actually have to pay 10 gold pieces.
You can't be that many
per
concepts
pound of
deep.
garlic.
That's such a high level of
Okay.
abstraction.
It's your point, but if I want to buy a riding horse,
Now, if you leave this
I have to
RPG and
pay
move to France, you'll have much better
14
purchasing power
gold
with your
pieces.
gold pieces.
Too many taxes in RPGs now.
I just realized this is CinemaSins for RPGs.
and
That's right.
is
That
unjustifiable.
is so
no
fucked
matter
up to
how-
think about.
How little worth gold is in your system. 4 pounds of garlic cost as much as a freaking riding horse.
Damn, dude.
So, please, game designers out there, please do, you know, at least this much research?
How, pray
when you
tell,
make your
do
games?
100 coins translate
Try to
into
find
one
out
life for Mario?
What did things actually cost?
In real life, 100 coins can't
How
buy you
much
shit.
worth is
It's
one
$1.
piece? Stuff like that. And if you do, then, you know, maybe I will be able
This
to
is so soy.
playing game for homeschooling, because it would be able to teach something to my kids. These games
Homeschooling.
they teach my kids
By having them play a shitty board game.
that 4 pounds of
And they're not
garlic
learning
is as
the
much
real
work
value of
as a
garlic
freaking horse.
and a horse. and gold.
I mean, I guess that explains
That's
who he's
not just
playing
all.
with. Is a
It
bunch of
teaches them. That is
7-year-olds.
Absolutely.
Homeschooling.
This is those are the least educated children on the planet. Like they are not learning shit from this guy.
No, they're gonna be wild.
I definitely think that's the barrier of entry to people playing like D&D is it doesn't make enough rational sense. The economy is fucked up when it comes to buying garlic.
But that's it. That's the other thing that like drives me crazy is like Varg like believes Lord of the Rings is so real that he calls people orcs. So it's like what is it?
I promote traditionalism. Not some new age crap or some sort of Hindu.
What is
rip-off
traditional
bullshit
to you,
that
man?
can find on some
It is
scholarly
new age crap. Literally
website
what
on
the
YouTube, but true traditionalism. But have I always been traditional? Was I traditional in my teens? Let's find out.
No, you weren't, and your parents weren't, and your grandparents weren't, so it's not a tradition.
Yeah, they were all trying to get
Is
to
that-
modernity.
Yes,
You
I
fucking
was.
dumbass.
I didn't drink myself into a stupor as a teenager. I didn't chase
You murdered
girls.
someone.
I was traditional, even when I was a teenager. If a girl was behaving in an untraditional manner, so to speak.
It's not untraditional
then
for teens to
If I had an interest in her.
Yeah, that's one of the only.
I lost all interest in her. I didn't want
They let
anything
3-year-olds
to do
drink
with
silly.
such females.
He got banned on YouTube
So you
after
were
a
a girl with
dispute with
peasants.
Stephen Crowder.
Ugh, I lost all interest in you.
I gotta take Varg's side in that.
On what grounds?
Ugh. I
Doing
lost
more
all interest
research.
in you.
Yeah,
you
I'll
were a
always
girl
side
who
with
slept
Varg.
with
Yeah.
one of my
Stephen
friends to get to know me.
Burls, thanks for the 30
I
months.
have no interest in you. So you were a girl who
We'll have a
got
video
drunk.
explaining it, I guess.
in some context. Sorry, not interested. So you were a girl who smoked pot. Sorry, I lost all interest in you. Right there. So you were a girl who looked like a traditional metalhead. Sorry, I lost all interest in you. So you were a girl who thought of sex as a recreational activity that you could, do with your friends. Sorry, I lost all interest in you. So you were a girl with more makeup.
I feel so
guys
sorry
in
for these
more-
girls not being able to
Sorry,
fuck
I
Varg.
lost all interest in you. So you were a girl
Yeah,
with
he didn't
ring
get
and
married
freaking
until age
fun.
43,
No,
but
I
he
lost
could have
all
had
interest
so
in you.
much pussy.
even there.
Oh,
Just
never
batted
mind.
in a
Dressed
way.
like a slut.
He was banned and Crowder
Sorry,
wasn't.
I lost interest in you. Right there.
That's unfair.
Yeah, and
So
it
you
happened
were
at
a
the same
girl
time
with
that
colorful
Crowder was
friends.
targeting that Hispanic
Run.
reporter for Vox.
Run fast.
Yeah, the gay
Oh.
wonk.
That means
Yeah.
I am running away.
Yeah,
That guy's pretty irritating.
Not
I gotta
gonna
take
claim
that
I was
guy over
the
Steven
ideal
Crowder
teen,
then.
because I
Yeah,
have
Yeah.
Crowder.
I agree with that exactly.
Say and some rebellious tendencies, but not in that context. I was
Partisan use
very
for
traditional.
an invasion
Even
of
as a
my
teen.
homeland.
Huh?
So I was very traditional.
Why can't
as
I
a
see your
teen
face?
in that context?
She's
You don't have a
shy.
picture of you
And,
together?
I'm very happy.
What's going on?
To tell you guys that, because I think that's the way to go. Stay traditional. Peace out.
What was that? Was that a stock image?
No, it looks like the lady that was riding the horse that you were showing earlier.
Bad guys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Let's find out. On YouTube, I often see.
I like how he has a YouTube catchphrase. Like, you are not a Viking, dude.
Let's
Shut
find
up.
out. Do you want to see him talk
Yeah,
about
let-
water purification?
He's so lame. People were afraid of.
On YouTube, I often see videos by survivalists who talk about purifying water. And quite often they talk about filters.
But
This guy was a public menace. Like, people were terrified.
That's how lame Norway is. People were like petrified. Like, this is like Charles Manson.
A little copper vessel is much better. If you want to take out impurities or
a water bottle. Thank you.
From water, you can just filter it through a t-shirt, some sock or whatever. Preferably not a used sock. And when you have done so, you can put
what are you talking
the water
about?
Into a copper
I
vessel.
don't know anything about water filtration or anything, but I'm willing to bet he's probably not getting this right.
Piece of copper inside, because you can
Yeah.
use necessarily.
If you're
you can also use
trying to drink from a river or something, you
But
could
I
filter
have
it through a
copper vessel.
t-shirt.
It's copper on the inside.
Part of the process. But
And
he's drinking from the
with water
sink.
inside,
It's not going to protect you from beaver fever or
and
anything,
if I
though.
let this
You know, it
stand,
looks
He's
great.
imagining what it would be like to drink water and survival.
What's up, Chet?
Hey,
What
Chet.
he would do.
If I wanted to hurry up a bit, I can shake the water, maybe have it on me while I was walking, because then it's moving all the time. Then the water particles will come into contact with the copper faster. And
He seems to think copper is
extremely poisonous
antibacterial.
to bacteria, but not to human beings. So, a simple
Well, he's in
copper vessel
France.
that you never need to.
I'm not
replace
sure that's
by
true.
Just wash the one.
None of this, like, even if Varg is
Or
saying
a
something
piece of
objectively
rubber
true,
put
like, none of
inside
it seems
vessel.
true to me.
You can
Yeah, it wouldn't be
have
effective.
copper coins, silver coins too, by the way.
Yeah, you just got to throw pennies
Same
in your
purpose.
water,
Put it
shake it
inside the
around, and the copper
replaced.
will,
Yeah, that's what he's saying. He's saying
Don't need
take the
any
plastic off of
filters. You don't
electrical
need to
wires.
replace by
They're
using
made out of
stuff all the
copper.
time to use
Strip the copper wire out of your apartment and put it in your water bottle to sterilize the
low
water.
tech,
It's a good point.
high
It's
tech.
a good way to look at things.
I guess that's supposed to be a water filter of some kind.
please prove that the guy cannot find that most of the world needs Europe to survive. What? Very cool, Varg.
People didn't
Cool.
do that in the old days.
Cool water filtration system, Varg. You want to take it to the White House?
So you put it through a t-shirt and then you put wires in it, and it's safe to drink. You strip plastic off of wires.
I don't see what the problem is.